Okay, is it working now? This is crazy. Not sure what the hell happened there. Was that a YouTube thing? I don't know what the hell happened. The whole internet, my modem, everything looked fine, but it looked like the whole internet just kind of crashed. That's crazy. I'm not sure what the hell happened there. Yeah. So anyways, the lines are back up and running, I guess. I don't know what the hell happened there, though. But it must have been something bigger than just YouTube, because the I lost connection to Google Earth and the to Zoom. Like, it literally quit working. So it was like the whole thing wasn't working. Anyways, there was two other people that tried to call while I was still on the phone with Beth, so maybe they're out there. I don't know, but who the hell knows? So what the hell were we talking about? I don't even remember. But yeah, me and Beth are like, yeah, that's what it was. We're like brother sister kind of deal. Yeah. Well, is Bonnie a construction worker, Beth? If she had the flip off emoji, she'd put that on there. Just curious, though. Right. So she made it across, right? There it is. There's the flip off finger. All right. There it is. Everybody's flipping me off now. Thanks a lot. Jesus. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. There was two callers that called in and then they hung up before. Maybe they were sending me some weird sort of virus thing that shoots from Zoom into the phone. Who knows, man? Yeah. Right, but you would still cross it, right, Michelle? Yeah. The truth is, it's easy to cross if you're not scared to cross and you don't succumb to some crazy vertigo issue, okay? If you don't have those things, it's easy to cross. You just walk across and make sure you don't step into one of the gaps, okay? You kind of have to look down. But, you know, there's probably some portions, as you can see when you watch the videos, where there aren't any missing railroad ties. But there are some where there actually are gaps. Yeah, but you're acting like I'm telling you I am somebody. You know, maybe I'm one of the people that would get vertigo, or maybe I'm one of the people that's scared of heights. But I'm saying in general, it's not hard to cross the freaking bridge. It really isn't. You're just trying to make it look cooler that you made it across, but it's not really, you know, a lot of people cross that bridge. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. Let's see. So no buffering, right? Okay, cool. Yes, everybody looks just like the sketch. Everybody looks like the sketch. Yeah, the other sketch was 129, and I mean the other live stream. I actually restarted my computer, and hopefully, you know, I don't know what it did. I checked the modem, and it was a green light on it, so I don't know what happened there. That sort of did something to the internet. I do not know. You have to open up a different window. So why didn't you call in, Simply Done? I think it makes sense that they're holding back the car information. They want to only speak to people who saw a car right there, right? And those people know who they are. They saw a car there. And those people are going to know what type of car they saw. If you went out and said, hey, everybody, did any of you see a white Honda Accord and that parked in that, or not a white Honda, there's not very many white Honda Accords. If you saw a green Honda Accord, forest green, parked right there, let us know. Well, everybody go, oh, God, I saw one down the street here. Oh, I saw one down the street there. It's irrelevant. They want to know anybody who saw the car parked there. I think it makes sense. At first, I was kind of bitching, like, gosh, why didn't they give us the type of car? But they don't want to do that. No, you can get the live back, Simply Done. That means you have to refresh the screen, and it's a whole nother live. It's not the same live that I was on. It's a whole different video now. Okay, so call in now, Simply Done. The number's on the screen. The show will be on hold until you call in. Right, and the thing, I don't know if the intel about the car came later or what, but I think what law enforcement is admitting by saying that the car was over there is they're saying they think the suspect came from the Freedom Bridge side, perhaps even down that trail, because there's that little back trail from that parking area that gets to the Freedom Bridge, and then you can walk from the Freedom Bridge down the trail, and then he probably exited through the cemetery, walked on 300 back to his car and left, knowing that nobody at that point was even really aware at all. Derek was there, perhaps looking around, maybe. You know, that's about it. So at that point, he wouldn't have been too suspicious to many people just walking on the street. Now, if he got there at 5:30, sure. Yeah, a lot less viewers now because it crashed. There was like 400 and something at the time, but it's okay. It's all right. That's what happens when technology doesn't work. Plus, it probably wasn't that fun listening to what seemed like a brother and sister bickering back and forth. No, Derek has not done an interview. This isn't really a podcast. It's a live YouTube video. Yeah, the Derek, I have never seen him do one interview. Okay? But that doesn't mean anything. He's probably just, you know, Becky's kind of running the show on that. Like she was the guardian, and Derek is the biological father. I'm sure he's interviewed, the cops have interviewed him and so forth. All right, hold on a second. All right, 239, you're on the air. Hello. 239, you're on the air. I guess they're not really here. Yeah. All right, try calling in again if you want, but I don't know what the hell happened there. It's just a regular phone line. You call the phone line, and then you type in the code. Who's Derek? Are you kidding, Marissa? Yeah, Derek's Libby's dad, biological father. He's the one that I've made a whole video about his route. He's the one that we went there to pick them up. Kelsey dropped them off at 1:38, and then he went there to pick them up, called it 3:11, driving across the bridge, and then 3:13 closer to 3:14 as he pulled into the parking area. You mean from where? Where the car was parked, Phoebe? I don't know what question you're really asking there. You'd have to rephrase that. You don't need a meeting ID. I have a meeting ID on the screen right there. There's a new one on the screen, Simply Done. Do you see that? The meeting ID? Somebody just called and they didn't say anything. Oh, crap. What do you mean you don't see it? It's right here on the screen. Right next to the Google Earth. See it? Man, are we going to do the same thing as last night? Oh, your phone crapped out? Okay. Yeah, Mike said, oh, the phone was pinging over town. You know, he was just saying he wouldn't know if it pinged all over town. And who cares if he said that? What does that mean to you? See, everyone focuses in on stuff that's absolutely irrelevant sometimes, and they need a perfect explanation for it. Just like in the Kanika Jenkins case, right? All these little side things. Hey, at 12 midnight, why was the security guard going to get lunch? Well, maybe he was hungry. You know? It just doesn't mean anything. Who cares that Mike said her phone was pinging all over the place? It means nothing. All right? All right, hold on a second. 601, you're on the air. Hello. 601. Can they not hear me or something? Or what's going on here? Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, everything works. Wait, hold on a second. Can you hear me now? Are you still there, 601? "601, you're on the air. You're not muted. 601. And I'll start a countdown from 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm going to take this other one. 816, you're on the air. Huh, now I'm starting to wonder if this is my problem. But it seems to be working. I mean, there's people on the screen. There's Zoom is working. And it looks like somebody's talking, but I can't hear them. Hold on, let me check something. I might be quiet for a second. Let me open up a... All right, are you there, 816? Yeah. Yeah, everybody's calling in now, but okay, can you hear me, 304? Oh boy. So now I think it's Zoom. Yeah, they can't hear me, it sounds like. I mean, I can't hear them. I can't hear any of their voices, even though I'm looking at it like I can see they're in here. Let me... so it's probably not them. So what I'm going to have to do now is shut down Zoom and then restart it again. But it'll be a whole nother code. All right. So. All right. Let me try this again. All right. Technical difficulties, everybody. Technical difficulties. All right, join with computer audio. That's what I had before. Okay, invite. All right, almost there, hold on. All right, so somebody try this Zoom ID right there. I think that's right, yeah. Try that one. All right, so somebody give that a, okay, that sounds better. Let's see. Okay, can you hear me, 304? Oh, there we go. Okay, good. There we go.
It's Cairo. I was just calling to see if you could hear me. I got nothing to say.
Well, it works now.
Have a
yes.
good show.
All right, thanks, man. All right.
All right, bye.
Bye. Okay, yeah, it definitely works this time. I'm not sure what happened last time, but it does work now. All right, so whoever was just calling in, call back in again. All right, it does work. So thank you for testing, Cairo. Because I'm just going to stare blankly at the screen until those same people call back in. There was 3 of you. Although you can't see me staring blankly at the screen. Guys, down the hill. He sounds like a genius. Oh, here we go. All right, 601, you're on the air. You can hear me now, I'm sure. You could hear me before, right?
Hey, Greg. Yeah,
Hey.
yeah, I sure do now.
Okay, good.
But before I could hear you, but suddenly I had the other caller on there too, and I could hear her.
Yeah, I think it's
anyway,
weird. I'm not sure what happened there. That's bizarre.
A couple observations and then a question. First, I agree with you. I don't think the guy's anywhere 18 to 40. I think he's over 35 to 40 at least, or maybe even 45. Did you catch when on the interview when the officer said that the three people know what's going on and 2 of them are dead?
Yeah. I mean, you probably thought that sounded kind of cold, the way you said that.
No. I just found it very interesting that he knew that 2 of the people that knew about the case were dead. I mean, that was pretty specific.
Yeah, that's Abby and Libby.
Information.
That's Abby and Libby, though. That's what he's saying.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, he's saying there was 3. He was saying there was 3 people that would know. The guy that you see on the bridge, Abby and Libby, and 2 of them aren't alive anymore.
I got you now.
Yeah, he worded that kind of funny, but then he did fix. He said that would have known. Because first he said that know about it, and then he says then would have known. He kind of corrected himself because he knew what he was about to say. Okay, what was the next part?
The other thing is, I was watching last night, and when you were doing the Missy Beavers case, and it came up very interesting with that affidavit that, where they're trying to get this dump from Google.
Yeah.
On a tower. I wonder if they could do that in this area for example, like a 2-hour period, and see, if there's specific phones that stayed in that area for, any length of time.
Yeah, I mean that's what you hope they do stuff like that. I mean that's like something they do. I think they did that in the Molly Tibbetts case. It's pretty amazing, really. But you can even just do that for cell tower, like cell tower. Oh dang, that came out of nowhere. A sneeze, but the cell tower pings. You can do the same thing, like all the different pinging, whose phone it was, what time it was, what like angle it pinged off the tower. Thank you.
Right, and even if you did it, for maybe for a 1 hour, 2 hour period, it would eliminate all the people driving through, and would just include the people that were in that area for that particular time, because we know he was in there for probably at least that length of time.
No, I mean it seems like it. I think it'd be great to do. I mean, the thing is, there's probably well, not the thing is, but every kid that might have been around there is going to have a phone, right? So you have Libby's phone. What you got to do is find the phone that doesn't belong to. Well, just find every phone that was there. There isn't going to be that many. Okay, there might be 60. Let's say at the most 50 phones throughout the from 12 to 5, right? Maybe the family members that showed up, all that kind of stuff, but just narrow it even further down. Go from let's say 12:30 to 1:30, right? Because no, not that. Do it to 2:15, 2:15, because then you're guaranteed that he's going to be there, right? Because he had to get down the trail. So I would just limit it to that. Then you're just kind of got like a. And you're gonna have less numbers, and you'll know that his phone was there, unless he had it turned off and then turned it on later. So maybe do 3:30 or something like that.
Yeah, that's possible. I just I found it real interesting on that when you showed that affidavit on the Missy Beavers case for me to do that.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think then you only look at it maybe 50, 60 phones to go through.
Right. And exactly. Yeah.
It would might be something.
Yeah, I mean they gotta do something.
Appreciate what you do.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thanks for that, and thanks for calling in. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Great.
Sometimes we have the technical difficulties, but I'm sorry about that.
Okay. No problem.
All right, man. All right, thanks.
See you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, 206. Isn't that Washington? You're on the air.
Mr. Gray Hughes, this is your long-lost friend, Glenn.
Hey, it's Glenn. What's going on?
A.K.A. Rodeo Clown, as I just changed my name on YouTube, since I didn't think it was wise to have my full name and making comments. So,
what did you call it? Rodeo Clown?
Two different things I want.
Rodeo Clown?
Yeah, I just switched it to Rodeo Clown as of tonight.
Oh, awesome. Excellent. That's like an homage to me.
We'll be chatting with you.
Yeah. What's that?
A couple two different things. Number one, to address what the gentleman just said that was speaking. I know that I had read recently that someone who was local to Delphi said the police had been, of course this is someone said, it may not be true, but had gone to their house and asked about a couple telephone numbers. They belonged to the kids of the house. They said, yeah, these are our kids. They asked for a DNA swipe, and then the guy provided, and then they moved on. So whether or not that's true or not, so it would go in line with the dump, and they're working through, their way through the dump. So, and who knows whether that's not true. And number two, I think I sent you a note on via the channel here that I met with Randy Gravitt and actually went to the bridge here a couple weeks ago. I had a work assignment out there.
No, yeah.
So it was, I don't want to say it was entertaining, but it was certainly eye-opening. And just so I think that most people have realized on here, it's it's like a good half mile, down the trail, and at 400 pounds, I could have died going even halfway to the bridge, but yeah. I made it. And my point being is this is not just a short jump off the road. It's quite a walk, and then you have to deal with the bridge itself. So,
right.
And number three, I want to send you some money, and maybe this is good for the entire group that's watching, but other than just sending you a PayPal pay or a donation by PayPal, how is everyone else donating, and how do we go about doing that? And I'm not being paid for asking you this, girl. I really want to send you some money. Maybe someone else will get some out of it also.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess people are using Streamlabs. It's in the description of the video. That's sort of that goes through PayPal, and then I also have a Patreon account. But the thing is YouTube, it's like they they take like some, I don't know, like 40% at least of your money.
Ooh.
It's crazy. So let's say someone gave you $100, they get $40. What did YouTube do, other than provide a platform to be on? But they demonetize everything. I don't know. It just seems like that's really over the top. You know, like I don't get it. I could see like 10% or something, but.
That's ridiculous. Well, maybe I should have read the description on the video and been a better follower. So I'll take a look at that and go through the Streamlabs or whatever it's called, and I'll get you some money here shortly. But I appreciate everything you do, Gray. I hope I try not to fall into the rodeo clown category.
But now now you are one. But now you actually have it as a name. So I'll say, "Hey, rodeo clown, what do you think about?" And they're going to go, "Gray, you're so mean." I go, "No, it's really his name." It'll be like the Who's on First skit. You know?
I'll be the guy in the jury that represents the rodeo clown. So if anybody really wants to fall at the deep end, they can contact me.
All right. Well, thanks. Well, I appreciate it.
All right, have a good night, Gray.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you. You too. All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay. And 305, you're on the... Yeah, 305. Yep, that's you.
Hey, how you doing there, Gray?
Not too bad. Who's this?
Okay, very good. I calling because I want to talk about DNA. I've heard people talk about DNA. I know you talked about it. Was it last night? You were mentioning the reporter said, that there was DNA. Now, obviously, there's going to be DNA from the bodies, or there's going to be DNA from the people that find them. But the killer's DNA, no one has ever said that in law enforcement. My gut tells me that I know you're very familiar with Parabon.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And Parabon has that service for a few $1,000s. They give you a sketch of what the person using I guess the law of averages. They create a portrait that sometimes, by the way, is amazingly similar to what the
well, that's called Parabon. That's called Parabon snapshot. The phenotyping.
Right. Their snapshot. Right.
Yeah.
But $2,000. You just send over the DNA. At the very least, they can do that. So, are you telling me that they don't either have the few $1,000s to do that, or they're not interested in having a third sketch that's based on the DNA?
Well, it could just be that they don't really have enough DNA. Because remember, they met with Paul Holes. Like I've said, this will be I think I mentioned it on the 2 different of these 4 lives that I've done. But
right.
at CrimeCon 2 years ago, Holman, the guy that we saw in the first half of the show, he talked to Paul Holes they had dinner or something. All right. Now you would only talk to him if there was some kind of DNA component, and in that interview, he did kind of confirm that there is a DNA component, but there's just all kinds of DNA, like touch DNA from all kinds of different people, all over the place, everywhere, and they're having a hard time. And what that kind of tells you is they couldn't find any blood or any sort of semen or anything like that, because if there was, that would have been immediately easy to determine who it was. So now they've been left with taking clothing.
That's a shocker, though. That is definitely the big riddle, because how the hell? The time frame is just too short to do. I think a crime where you leave no evidence outdoors. It just seems to me like I don't know. It doesn't have.
Well, I think it's a little bit longer. Well, I think the crime scene was a little bit longer, though, actually, than people. I mean, that would even make it seem like there'd be more. See, that thing is, I heard from somebody early on who actually turned out to be accurate, was that they were shocked at how little, and he kind of said a little bit of that in that interview earlier. He goes, yeah, there was very little evidence. But then later he sort of said, well, we got a lot of evidence at the crime scene. I think he was sort of backpedaling at that point, because he remembered that he'd said earlier that there was not a lot of evidence in the case. So, and then I guess they were sort of just shocked at how little.
Yeah, I did think. Right, I did think it was interesting. You helped me understand a little bit. You pointed out that little kind of nook just before the
The creek.
Right across from the creek. You said this is where. Right, you're zooming in on it now, right?
Yeah, I gotta get
there was there's like a little nook there, and that does seem like that could be possibly a lair type of situation, and where somebody might want to bring somebody to commit a crime in outside of where they couldn't really be seen. Because I'm telling you right now, none of it makes sense. Crossing that creek deliberately seems far-fetched. Why would you do? There's plenty of that whole wooded area back there. You could have brought those girls.
Well, look at, but it worked though, right? But see, it worked though, right? Like they didn't even. Let's put it this way: if he had done something to them on this side, they would have been found that first night. But he took them across the creek, and he knew that, like, wow, you always hear the classic, oh, it takes dogs scent off the trail if you go across.
Well, I don't.
Anyway,
by the way, you say that. No, hold on. You say that they would have found that. I'm not sure
Maybe.
that they knew that Libby and Abby disappeared on that side of the creek. They could have disappeared anywhere.
Well, yeah, because they'd already had the picture on the bridge with them, the Snapchat image.
They knew they were on the bridge at one point, but they don't know which side they ultimately. They could have came across and then came back or whatever. They didn't. I don't think they knew. You know what I'm saying? It seems unlikely. One theory that I have heard about the crossing the creek. Why would someone do that deliberately? If you were so much of a true crime freak that you thought maybe you could throw off the scent of dogs or something by crossing.
Yeah, I just said that.
In these, old movies. Old movies.
Right. Yeah, the whole dog thing. But the thing is I think it's either they tried to escape and ran across, and he caught up with them.
I think that's a more likely.
Or he had him go across there. Now the thing is if he's from that area, he knows the area. He knows that nobody ever really walks through these woods over here because that's private property, and there's really there's nothing to do. It's pretty dense, thick, and everything. So he brings them across here and then escapes through the cemetery, where people would come and search over here because this is sort of like the park, like you cross the bridge, you walk around down in this area. Some people take the trail down. See, these trails go.
Incidentally, don't you think that that's a little strange though? The park is. I don't think that's all like government property. I think that they're using some sort of I think Logan's because the bridge is that bridge on.
Well, I think
property?
The tracks itself are not owned by the landowners. I think just that little sliver. So if you're walking down,
by the way, probably the whole railroad line there is a giant easement for the railroad company.
Yeah.
It's probably owned an easement all the way through there, and that's or it's their property outright. The whole thing is kind of strange. You get off when you're on, the private property is running with that road coming through underneath. It's just a weird mix of public-private. It just is not typical, not a typical park that I'm familiar with anyway. Yeah. It's interesting.
How would that mean?
Yeah, so I just continue my thoughts on the DNA. The DNA to me, it just starts. I mean, I want there to be a DNA. Oh, the other thing I was going to mention to you, because you were talking about, I don't disagree with you that they found the phone. I just think it was odd that the reporter is the one who's telling us that, and not the
if you listen to that interview again, he literally, he confirms it in there. Now he confirms it in there because she said, so did they find the phone thing? Because in that last interview I just played, she said, so did they find the phone? Let's see, I think it was like a question about did they find the phone, blah blah blah, and he said, well, he answered it like. I can't remember the exact phrasing, but he was affirming that there was a phone found, the way he said it. It was absolutely 100%.
I don't discount it. I just think it's weird. It said, she said he confirmed that it's the phone. It's like, why not, if he said that, just put him on. Let's hear it directly from him. That's what some of the cynicism comes through with, people.
Well, it might have been something he didn't really want to say, but then he said it, and then he's just kind of like.
I can't say it on camera, but I can tell you privately. Right. Those are the questions, by the way. You said you spoke with him. Those are the questions you should ask people like that. Do you have DNA? Do you have the phone? Do you have these things? Things of that nature. You want? Because I think that we would trust you if you told me I spoke with him in private and he told me they have DNA. I would say, okay,
Right, but I wouldn't be telling you. That's the difference. See, if I asked him in private, and he told me that, I wouldn't say it on the show. You see what I'm saying?
Well, the other thing I would say about reporters and even police, reporters mess up, but police also. I was watching this. Well, you're probably familiar with this case. There was a case where I was watching recently on one of these channels where what happened is the murderer. This is like one of these ancient cases. They had lost the whole file, right? So the detective who kind of picked up the cold case had zero. They lost everything, and it just so happens that he starts from nothing. Starts with a photo, I guess. He starts with a photo, and he just works backwards from there. But ultimately, they find out, they kind of know who the person is, but they don't really have any evidence on him. So they create a story where they're going to exhume the body with the presumption of finding DNA. They're not going to find any DNA. I don't think they even have. Maybe they didn't even have it, but it was a ruse. The detective wanted the killer to believe there was DNA to elicit a confession, and he did. It was successful. So sometimes police might not be completely honest with what they have. They might tell you they have DNA when they don't, because they're attempting to,
I thought he was pretty honest. I think he was pretty. When you listen to that interview, he kind of just said, "Wow, we it's really tough, man. We don't really have the DNA. We don't know. There's just a lot of stuff to weed through, and they just don't know."
I just think they would have the guy already if they had the DNA. Yeah. They would do it through one of these familial genealogy.
Right, but it could also be that they've done that. See, that might be why Paul Hull's got in there, because they did have a sample, but there wasn't enough relatives that had put anything in to that one specific guy. See, it doesn't always work. See, we always hear of the cases that genealogy works on, but it's not a very high percentage. I actually was talking, I don't remember what the number was, but it's not really that high of a percentage where there's actually, because there's only 1 million people in GEDmatch. That's it.
Right. Yeah, but even they're running them off of the
the other ones too.
They're running them off of the the inmate databases, which is huge, by the way, which is 50 states, and it's much bigger than GEDmatch. They have more than 1 million.
Right, but but I asked about that in the hold on, hold on. Sometimes, like, you just kind of keep going. The DNA, the prison DNA, I asked about that. They only keep a certain amount of markers, right? It's nowhere near the amount of markers that they use to do the genealogy profiles. Okay, so it's not. I thought, wow, wouldn't that be great if we could get a hold of all the prisoner DNA information and upload that to GEDmatch just to get a start, and also, a lot of crimes. Genetics plays a role in sort of a higher percentage of being crimes. So not only that, you'd have a higher chance from that pool to be finding other criminals. Okay.
Right.
So there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
But but I've heard they're using the inmate databases for familial DNA searches. I've heard that. So they're running them through both. So some must be doing.
Yeah. Well, no, you can do it. Like, you can take DNA that they have. Like, if you've already got a stored sample, you can run it back through again, but the DNA that they store for CODIS isn't the same, right? But
Then they're going to start they need to start adding that, or I think they probably already have.
Well, they should. I think they should go back in time, take any DNA samples collected from criminals, and it should be a law, and you get to post that into GEDmatch. And just add all of those in there. There could be millions of records put right back in there, and boom, they're back in business.
I'm in GEDmatch, and I hope everyone else does that. Anybody who's interested in solving these crimes, hey, it might end up being a family member of yours, but you know what? That scumbag needs to be in prison. So, I gladly gave my DNA to GEDmatch, and I want them to find these people. So, whatever I could do on my end, I definitely would do that.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to do something on all of our channels to try to get people to sign back up. But anyways,
and I want them to use those other ones, 23andMe, Ancestry. I want to see us use them all. But I guess there's privacy issues and things like that. But all right, hey, great, thank you so much. I enjoy your show. I love it, and I like the set time. That way, too often I come on and I go, oh shit, I missed it, and I watch the show. When you have a set time, it's going to make things so much better. and people will know exactly
Okay.
when they will find you, and I love that. So that's what I'll give
I'll
you
do
a
it.
big thumbs up for that. All right,
I'll do
thank
it.
you, sir.
All right,
thank you,
thanks.
and keep up
Good
the
idea.
great work. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye. All right. 816, you're on the air.
Hi, Gray. I
Hey.
am thinking about the white
Well, who's
around the
this?
guy's neck. Can you hear me?
Yeah, who is this?
This is Lisa.
Okay. You got to help me out a little
I'm
bit
thinking-
here. I don't know who everybody.
Oh, sorry.
There's only a couple of voices that I've heard enough where I can remember them. But
No, this is the first time I've called in. Okay, so I'm thinking about the white around the guy's neck. You know, they said scarf, they've said goggles. Why haven't they just considered it a white T-shirt? And that would kind of tell you a little bit about. I mean, not that many young people wear
because they don't know it's a white
the
T-shirt.
white undershirt.
Yeah, because they don't know that's what it is, right?
Right. But I'm just saying that it looks like a white T-shirt to me, just bunched up.
Right, but you're saying why don't they just tell people that? But the thing is because they don't know that's what that is, right? I mean, why do you want them to say what it is? You see, you're saying you want them to tell people that it's what you think it is.
No.
Right?
I'm
Come
just
on.
saying that's more likely than a pair of goggles around their neck.
Well, that's for damn sure. But yeah, it's it's weird too because it seems to me like it's sort of a harder, I don't know. I'd love to know what that is, but I'll tell you what it's not. It's not a puppy with an outline. I can tell you that right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But it just seemed to me that that would narrow down your suspect pool because there aren't that many people that wear the white undershirts anymore. Anyway, it was just a thought.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it would narrow it down much because I think a lot of people have white T-shirts. You know.
But a lot of the older, not the younger people don't usually wear a white T-shirt undershirts.
Yeah.
Like the older generation, almost all the guys wore white T-shirts.
See, I never did. I always thought it looked weird when someone wore a dress shirt and then had a T-shirt on underneath it. I always just put the dress shirt on, right? I don't understand the T-shirt underneath it because you can actually see the T-shirt. You know, it looks weird.
Yep, I agree. Well, thanks. It was just a thought.
But yeah, I mean, if you're right that no kids wear white T-shirts underneath anything, but it's really hard to even tell what that is. Like, that'd be weird for a T-shirt to be doing what that's doing, right? Because the T-shirts are usually tight around the neck, and this thing is loose and kind of floating around in front of underneath his chin, right?
Yeah, I see that.
It's kind of weird looking.
It is weird. It's just puzzled me.
Yeah, I think there was one time I could actually see. Let's see, where was that? Yeah, it's interesting because like a shot like this, whatever that white thing is, it sort of goes outside over the jacket, and then there's other shots where the jacket, like this one. See, this one's the clearest shot you can see this thing, and it almost seems like it goes right to the side of it, but it's weird that it looks like it actually overlaps outside of the blue jacket right there. You see what I'm looking at?
Yeah, I see that. I hadn't noticed that. I was just thinking it looked like a white T-shirt kind of bunched up around the neck because he's wearing so many layers, but yeah, I see that. Very interesting. Well, that's all.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
but if you go over to hold on, if you go over to Harvey's channel, he'll tell you this little bright light right there is actually some kind of something really interesting. When in actuality it's just the sunlight hitting that leg. You see? But you pause it right there,
Yeah.
and then you flip the image around. See, he does this inverse image, so it makes this dark and then everything else light, and then somehow, oh my God, it's an iron for straightening clothes out. Look at that, and that's that's the cable of it right there. You see that? It's just underneath the. You see? Yeah.
Well, I heard goggles and I heard scarf, and I really just felt like that it was
Right.
probably a white shirt.
Yeah, Beth used to
And
say it was
that
goggles
was-
all the time. So you gotta realize that's where Beth's coming from. She was one of the goggle people. Yeah.
Oh,
She would say, "Oh, those look like goggles to me." Yeah, that was awesome.
well, it does. It is strange
yeah,
for sure. The whole thing is strange, though.
yeah, the whole thing. It's so odd that nobody can say who this person is right here. But anyways, yeah. Well, thanks for calling in. You had an original idea. There you go. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, see you. Bye. Oh, shoot. All right, 646, you're on the air.
Hey, Gray, it's Nancy. How you doing?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing?
Good. Okay, I have two questions. I'm not sure they can be answered, but I just want to put them out there regarding this case. First, let me just preface it with, I'm not from Indiana. I saw the case in the Daily News or something. It was in one of the papers like the second day, and
Daily
I've been
Mail.
following it ever since. So I'm kind of, I hope.
I remember that
Yeah.
early on from the Daily Mail. They had the wrong spots. Like they had the crime scene they had way over somewhere else, and it threw everybody off. And then we found it and fixed all that. So
That's exactly right. Yeah. Okay, so your stuff is very helpful, especially like I said, from someone like me that's out of state. So thank you for that.
no problem.
Okay, the two questions I have are, and I asked it in the chat. Could somebody explain to me about why there were no animal scavengers if they were out there for more than 24 hours and blood was spilled? And let me just say one other thing, Greg. I was with my sister 2 Christmases ago, and we had to go pick up some last-minute items at the store. And as we were driving down this country road, she lives in the country, it looked like a scene from like hell. There were all these big black vultures all around the road. And I looked and I said, what is it? And she said, I bet you there's a deer carcass someplace. And sure enough, there was a deer carcass, and they were just hovering around and, just sitting around, a lot of them. So that's my first question.
Well, you mean the question? Well, what was that? That question there, it seemed like you were a statement.
I'm sorry. If there was blood spilled and their bodies were in the woods for approximately 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, you don't
there,
always
like,
get animals. I mean, animals don't always, there's bodies that they find that after a month that don't really have any animal scavenging. It just doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay. All right. So that's fair. And then the second thing, this is just more of I'm just putting this out here. Again, I have no idea who the killer is, just like everyone else. My thought is that it is someone that is from that area and knows, the local area surrounding counties, because there's too many things that they knew. And I'm just going to add one new thing. The car that the police are looking for between the hours of 12 and 5 p.m. or the vehicle, it's just like, again, so I guess ironic, if that's the word you want to say, that Ron said he didn't get home till 6. And now Ron Logan's completely innocent, I believe. It's just like, so many things are perfect because, see, Ron driving home on that road would have probably seen a car because Ron goes on that road, whatever route he took. But it's like, let's see, Ron didn't get home till 6.
But maybe Ron always gets home at 6 and he stops at a bar after work. Maybe Ron always gets home at 6.
I thought he's a farmer.
Well, I don't know what he's doing, but maybe I don't know. Okay, but here's the thing: if you don't think it's weird, and then he doesn't get home till after 6, like you don't think it's him, then what's weird about it? Are you trying to do the Howard Kurtz angle? Or I mean, not the Howard.
No,
that Garrett Kurtz. I always keep saying Howard Kurtz because he's a Fox News guy.
Oh.
But, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. No, I don't think it's that Kurtz guy. It's because I think the person has studied the air, like knows, like, and that's, you actually brought up a good question. I would like to know if Ron was going and sneaking a drink like every Monday at the bar or wherever he was going, because I think, this is just my thought, this was somebody, like you said, looking for this trap, knew Ron's not home. He's supposed to be, but he goes every Monday to the whatever. Like, I think the person knew. That's just my thought. And they knew that day Ron was going to be gone.
I don't know. I don't think Ron Logan is a sort of I don't think there's anything key about it. Because look at it like this. Right. It's like, who cares? Even if Ron Logan was driving around and Ron Logan drove by some random guy in a jacket that everybody in Delphi seems to own, with jeans that everybody in Delphi seems to own, with the shoes that everybody in Delphi seems to own, he just would have driven by. It wouldn't even have mattered. It's not like, and he would have walked through the woods, came up through the cemetery, and it's not like Ron Logan's sitting there with a chair 100 yards out in the woods just waiting for somebody to come sneaking up from the creek. I don't see how knowing that Ron wasn't home would do anything. I don't know how that would help. Is what I'm trying to, like the killer. Like, try to pick, like, what do you think? How do you think that would help the killer? Knowing that Ron wasn't home.
Like, I think you had talked before about, or somebody had talked before about, it was an opportunity. He was looking for an opportunity. Well, this day was a great opportunity. The kids were out of school. Ron's not home. I think, like maybe 50% he would have gone with the kids out of school. But now that Ron's not home and the kids are out of school, this is my day. This is my day.
So I think this house over here is like Ron Logan's house or something. And he owns some of the land that goes down in this area. But then I know it's somebody else. I mean, Beth has this whole map of this stuff. But, Ron Logan owns some of this land. There's a lot of other landowners here, like Mears over here. He owns some of the land. So it's like, well, did he make sure Mears wasn't home? Because Mears was sure out there later, because when Mike showed up at 5, he talked to Mears. See?
Right.
I just don't see, Ron Logan I don't think Ron Logan has any sort of value at all to this whole case. It's like he's just some guy that happens to live over here. Just like, look at all these other people that have homes that are actually even closer to the crime scene. Now after the killing, he probably went up through the cemetery, walked down the road, and then went to his vehicle right there. If that's where, if that vehicle was associated.
Right. That's fair.
But no, I'm just trying to figure out, so let's say Ron Logan was home. How would he have hindered what this guy did? Let's put it that way. Work at that from that angle.
I think maybe he might not have gone out that Monday.
No, but forget that part. Just pretend. I mean, I don't agree with that, what you're saying right there. So let's just say that if Ron Logan was home and he did it, what would he be fearing that Ron Logan might be doing? How would he interfere with the killing?
That Ron Logan might stumble upon. He might have let his horse out down in the meadow. He might have been, I don't know, whatever Ron does on his farm on a daily every Monday.
Yeah.
I think he was being seen. He could have, Ron had been home.
I mean, it's possible, I'm just saying. I just don't think you're saying a witness, Phoebe's saying, a witness. Yeah. But I mean, it's just, there's a million of them out there. It just seems like, not a million, there's a bunch of landowners around there. And it could have been any one of them. I just don't see why Ron Logan's like somebody that you would care. Okay, Ron's not going to be home, so now I'm going to plan this murder and I'm going to bring it across. It just seems like, if he heard somebody coming, he would have ran some other direction or something. Like, I don't know. Like, okay, but I don't know. It's just.
Let me just say one other piece, though. I have to look at Beth's house because I didn't consider that. But I do know there was another man, Mr. Metzer. Like, he was in Arizona. He goes there for several months out of the year to vacation. So this is what I'm saying, like, the person kind of knew the situation. Metzer's not home. He's in Arizona. Ron, on Mondays, he goes and has a little drinky poo. It just seems like the person knew this was the time. That's just my thought. Now, but I didn't know about, I have to look at Beth's house because I didn't know about her.
Yeah.
But I'm also open.
I don't know, but let's put it this way: what difference would that make, though? Like, let's say he did know that Ron Logan was out of town. You know, I mean, what does that say to you? How does it help?
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
How does it help? How does it help figure out who the killer was? I mean, couldn't he have heard that at a bar? Somebody said, "Hey, Ron Logan. Oh yeah, he's out of town," and he went, "Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna go over there." So it's like I'm just trying to figure out how this would help. You know,
all
like,
this together, but like some people have said, I haven't been there in 30 years. I mean, I've lived there 30 years, and I didn't know the trail was back there. So we've got a guy that knows the trail. Okay, so let's just say he lives far, but all of a sudden he knows the trail. He knew that bend around the corner when they crossed the water. He knew that was a shallow spot. That's like you say, it takes someone that knows that area. That's just then. Okay, so let's just say just that part. But then he knew that Metz or whatever. He was one of the people houses on the trail. He was out of town because he vacations for 6 months. I
think you got a fan in the chat. Simply Dunn thinks that Ron Logan is the killer. I can tell just by the way she's like, yeah. He had 3 protection orders against him. Oh God. Anyways, yeah.
Can I just say one other thing?
Go ahead. Yeah.
And then I'll go. And then again, I'm just putting this out there. People keep looking at the sketches like the guy was young, the guy was old, like the old sketch and the new sketch. I don't know. I know the woman that's this new witness that came forward. I'm sorry. Let me just back up. I don't know when they're saying they saw the sketch. When the person that they saw, like, did the person say something to them recently, and they do the sketch now? Because my point is, I have a history of working with people that are addicts. And people keep looking at young and old. How about maybe someone that had fattened up after, like they were using when they attacked the girls, and now this fattened up picture is someone that's clean. This is just a thought. I'm just putting it out there. So everybody's looking at the pictures as young, old. They're so different. How about using, now clean? Because a lot of addicts I've worked with have clean, have fattened up. You won't even recognize them. You won't recognize them. Wow, look how good they look. It's just a thought.
Yeah. Okay. Just a thought. We'll keep that in the memory banks. We'll have you. You're on record saying that.
Okay. All right. That's all for now. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Yeah, but I gotta challenge what you're saying on the stuff because I gotta see if on what you're saying because I gotta see if it's valid. See, I don't agree with any of the stuff that you were saying on Ron Logan. I know you got somebody in there Simply Done like, oh yeah, great points. I don't agree that they're good points. I think it's just sort of like in this case, it's just saying, oh wow, maybe the guy knew that Ron Logan wasn't there, but why Ron Logan? Why didn't you say maybe he knew Mears wasn't there? It's just, to me, it's kind of, I don't know what advantage he got. Like, is Ron Logan does he always tool around all the way through the woods down at the river? That kind of thing. I don't know. I don't see it. I get what you're trying to say. It just doesn't mean a lot.
I'm sorry. If you told me he went to work every day, that I understand what you're saying. But he's a farmer. He was at home. He was tending to his every day. And that day, on a Monday, he went in to have a little drink. So that was my thought.
But but he's a drinker, right? Like, he drinks all the time. So how do we know that was the only day that he had drinks? Doesn't he drink all the time? Right.
But he was on wasn't he like restricted? So the dump day was his day to so that's why I don't know, but it would be good to know. Does Ron on Monday, is that dump day usually on Mondays when Ron takes goes to the bar? Like, I don't know. That's what I would be curious to know. But.
Yeah. Let's see.
And he came home. Wait, one other thing. He came
Hey, Simply
home
Done. I'll say what I want. Simply Done. I don't agree. Simply Done's in there just making all these kind of comments because she's really excited about the Ron Logan angle. Okay, I'm going to say what I want because it's my show. I don't agree with this stuff. Okay, I don't even think it matters that Ron Logan wasn't there. It was just what he was going to do that day. Nobody knows either how he knows that the water was shallow, or anything. It doesn't mean he's been there a million times. He may have gone back to that corner there, and the girls made a break for it, and they said, oh, yeah, and they crossed right there, and that was a spot that was easy to cross. We have no idea about that part. Now, law enforcement thinks that the person knows the area well, and lots of people in that town knew that those trails were there. Not that, the people that say, oh, I've lived here for 30 years, and I didn't know the trails were here. Those people are just, like oblivious people that probably have their heads buried in their lap all day, because they actually advertised to go hiking there in that town, and all the kids knew where it was, and a lot of adults. So the few people that say, oh, I never knew it was there, I live right there, I don't know how they could be like that. It's crazy.
Okay, so Greg, I'm gonna give you one more thought so you can disagree with me.
Yeah.
It makes me feel special. Okay. Now this is a touchy one, so I'm going to be polite, careful. Abby and Libby were very good friends. That's what is being shown, and it shows they were very close. I don't understand when Beth, what's
Who was?
Abby's grandmother's name?
Wait, who were you
Libby's
saying? Who were you
grandmother.
saying was close? I missed that first part. I was looking.
Libby and Abby, they were like best friends.
Oh yeah,
very,
yeah,
very close.
Yeah.
Okay. What's
Abby's
Libby's grandmother's name?
Becky.
Becky. I'm just curious. They were very close. Is it true that at Abby's home was close to the bridge? Because
Yes.
based on your
It's not that far.
interview,
It's not that far, but it's like
Okay.
it's about a mile, 0.75
Okay.
miles. Yeah.
okay,
3/4.
based on the very good interview that you did with the Patties,
Mm-hmm.
Becky said that when she got there, her and I think Tara, they went on they drove the pattern of where Abby, where I guess Kelsey dropped them off. They went both ways and so on. Well, why wouldn't y'all go to Abby's house right away? Like, if my daughter is staying with somebody, and she lives less than a mile away, first thing I'm going to think is, oh, they must go to Abby's house. They didn't go to Abby's house first. She called her at work later, but they first did a trail driving of. I just didn't understand. Wouldn't you
Okay.
automatically?
Can I ask you this? Why do you need to understand that though? Because here's the thing is what do you think it suggests? Let's say, see, sometimes everything isn't just perfect the way. Oh wow, this is what I would have done. So therefore, it's really nefarious that somehow Becky didn't. They didn't check with Abby's home first. I mean, there's nothing to it.
I'm not saying. I just had to think like maybe they weren't as close as people think they were. Maybe like we don't know everything. That's all. I just thought. I don't know. That's when I heard that. I just said, well, I would go to the girl's house. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, who knows how that worked? Because it could have been that, she was supposed to be staying with them. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. I mean, Abby's mom, Anna, was at work, I think, if I remember right, and she was called there, and the thing is the girls were supposed to meet Derek at the parking spot. So that would freak you out, right? Like, you're not thinking, oh well, they just went over to Anna's house. That's not something you would think, because that's not what they were supposed to be doing. Okay? Now, in hindsight, you can go, oh yeah, well, geez, why didn't they think they were over there? Because what was unusual is Libby didn't do what she said she was going to do, and they were supposed to be picked up right there at the parking spot. See? Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, great. It was great talking to you. I love your show, and
I'm just trying to figure out like everyone's so excited about your points, but the points they're not leading to anything. They're just little things that you think are odd, like, oh wow, nobody made it over to. Why didn't they check Anna's house first? Who cares? What does that mean to anybody? I can sit there and look at every case and find little tiny little things that didn't happen exactly how I would have done it and point it out, and then people would go, wow, that's weird. You know? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Sinbad's one of the Garrett Kurtz guys. So everything you're saying fits right into his, and I'm following along. I'm following along. No, I'm following along with these. There's two people in there. They're just total Garrett Kurtz fanatics. You got Sinbad and Texas Girl Rocks. That's all they care about. Oh, it's Garrett Kurtz. It's Garrett Kurtz. So everything you're saying fits right into their narrative. So everything you say is the greatest thought that's ever happened. When I'm just trying to listen to it and I'm trying to wonder where you're going with some of it. Like the Ron Logan stuff, they're trying to do the Garrett. They love it because it shows that, oh, maybe Garrett Kurtz, because he knew Ron Logan. See, the funny thing is all the facts that a lot of these people have on Garrett Kurtz are just things that somebody told them or something. They don't even actually know the facts on him. But they think, oh, yeah, God, eventually it's going to be that Garrett Kurtz and Ron Logan they fought in Nam together. They were best friends. You know, they literally, it's incredible, the information that people say that they think they have on this guy. It's amazing. So you're looking in the chat right now, and I'm just looking going, wow, Jesus.
Oh, I can't see the chat. But see, Ray, it's good that we say this and you clarify it so then we don't repeat it.
Well, no, but I mean, I'm not really clarifying anything. I didn't fix anything. Like what you're saying, I didn't clarify it. I'm just trying to ask you, what do you think is so crazy, and what are you implying when you say, wow, how come Becky didn't check to see if the kids were over at Anna's house first? What are you implying with that one? That's what I'm trying to get at.
I guess, okay, I'm not implying that it's Becky or Mike or anything. My thought was that maybe we didn't know, as like it's presumed that they're really close and so on. Like, I don't know, maybe like we don't know, we assume stuff. And, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's, I don't know.
Yeah, but what do you, because you brought it up because it's bugging you. So what about it are you trying to suggest by them not calling over to Anna's house first? That's what I want to get to. I want to get to that point. Well,
because like, I mean, and again, I don't want to dig myself further in this rabbit hole, but you know, it's like I don't know. It was almost like they were sisters, and I guess like some people are saying like you don't know what they were doing on social media and stuff like that. My thing is that they were so close like sisters, but Becky didn't think to automatically go to Anna's house first.
Okay. All right. So what bothers you about what? But what does that suggest is what I'm trying to get to.
Well, maybe the way they weren't as close. That's what I'm trying to say. They weren't as close, so maybe they had. We don't know a lot of stuff that we think we. There's not a lot of stuff that we. There's a lot of stuff we don't know. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know. There's a lot of stuff that Becky might not know. That's all.
Mm-hmm. But again, but. All right, so you are suggesting there's something at a higher nefarious level here. So what do you think it is? What do you think it is, the reason that Becky didn't call Anna right away? Because that's what you would have done, but she didn't do it, so therefore there's a problem with it. See, I knew that there was something further, deeper behind this. Let's hear what it is.
Yeah, she did call Anna later.
I know, she called her later, but why did? Yeah, but you think that she should have immediately thought, boy, I wonder if they're over there at Anna's house and driven over there or something like that, right? Right. So what reasoning do you think there would be that's like it's bothering you? Couldn't it just be that they didn't think of that?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But Gray, as if you're a mother and the mother and a child, and you're best friends with the child, and the y'all two are, and the person that's less than a mile away. I don't know what mother would not think, I'm going to go straight to that. I mean, who was it? I mean, okay, maybe I'm out of the ballpark.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is but what are you suggesting then? That's what that's what's bothering me a little bit. So you keep there's these little things that you keep saying in all these different scenarios that you're suggesting something, but then you never say what it is that you're suggesting. That's what's bothering me about this whole thing. You've never really said anything. Like you've said the Ron Logan. Oh wow, maybe the guy knew that Ron Logan wasn't there. But then I said, well, let's say Ron Logan was around. Like the thing is this guy was just. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to imply by the whole thing.
No, I think I'm just trying to, like, I don't know, look at different, and different areas that maybe we could start in looking at a different.
I'm going to start removing
area.
everybody that thinks that it's something nefarious. So put a 1 in the chat if you think it's nefarious that Becky didn't call. Check out the house first, okay? Because I'm going to start removing these idiots. Like Trent up there. All right. Right. Anyways, I think I get these other calls. I'm going to get these other calls here, but yeah, I mean, I guess your part about the Ron Logan thing angle is, it's better. It's a better point than the part about them not, or Becky not going over to Anna's house first. I think that is absolutely ludicrous. That whole thing, actually, even caring and thinking about something like that, But the part about Ron Logan, maybe there was some potential there. Like somehow he figured out that Ron Logan wasn't going to be there that day. He got home at 6. The thing is you're going because the police said if the car was there between 12 and 5, look how perfectly that matches up. But in reality, they're just putting a sort of a time frame there. But we know it wasn't 5 because Mike and all those guys were right there at the parking area. So it was before that. I would say 3:45 is about the time the killer was out of there. Right. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So the thing is if it's 3:45, does it really matter at that point? I mean, does Ron Logan hang out down below there the whole time? I didn't realize there was people still kind of doing the Ron Logan, putting him into the scenario. It's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. I still would like to watch and listen to your show, Ray. So.
Well, I didn't say you couldn't. I didn't say that. I just said, you got all these people just going, yeah, wow. And see, that's what I don't like. See, I don't want to turn into one of these whack job channels over here who somebody says something that like, yeah, wow. And then everybody starts glomming onto that. I guarantee it now. People are going to start saying crap like, oh, wow, Jesus, why didn't Becky go over to Anna's house? Good point. Wow, everybody. And then they'll come up with these crazy conspiracy theories to make that fit into some other thing. That's exactly what Holman was talking about on that interview we just heard. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I appreciate you calling in about, the Logan thing's possible. I just don't understand why it wouldn't, the guy wouldn't have committed a murder even if he was around. His house is way up there. It's not down by the river there. Yeah.
Okay, so chatters, don't chat about what I said. I'm totally
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's too late. You've already hooked suckers in like Trent and those other 2 guys. Man, they got really into that. It was amazing.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. All right, I'm gonna get these other ones. All right, thank you.
All right, talk to you soon.
All right,
Thanks.
bye.
Bye.
All right, this is River Fox. You're on the air there. And by the way, you guys can change your name if you're on hold there. Are you there, River Fox? River Fox, you're on the air. Well, I guess I'll have to... You there? I heard something in the background there. I think you got to talk a lot louder. I can hear you, but it's really quiet.
Oh.
There you go.
Brian. Okay, these are old. Like,
Well, that's a good audio, though. If you just put it right next to your mouth, though.
It's right next to my mouth. It's weird. These are old from my brother. He passed away 2 years ago, and my nephew gave them to me. Yeah, I just want to test them out, basically. Love your show, by the way. I'm always sitting over in the side chat, not saying anything because I'm a moron.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just kidding with you. I just want to test them out.
All right, what's going on?
It's the first time. It's the first time I've ever done this in my life.
Oh, sweet.
Like getting on Zoom. I mean, I was like, oh, hello.
But it's pretty quiet. I don't think anybody can hear you. Do you have any way to boost up the audio there?
There's a thing on the board, but I don't have a clue what I'm doing. Believe me, I don't even have a smartphone.
All right, well, maybe you can throw out what you say, and I'll tell people what you were saying. It's pretty quiet. Well, just talk with a louder voice and hold it right next to your mouth.
No, I have to yell.
Yeah, well, that's better. That's how you got to do it.
Oh, okay. Then I just have to really talk loud. But
Yep.
It's 11:30 here. And,
Okay.
And that's why I'm not yelling. So, okay. Then I just know that I need to talk louder. Okay. So now I know what I'm doing. Thank you very much for allowing me to test these out. That's all I wanted to do was just, okay, I got
That was it? You didn't have any comments on the case?
No, I'm so behind on it. I mean,
Oh,
really.
gee.
I mean,
So you just
really,
called to test out your mics? Oh, come on. Gee. Well, I do have somebody else.
Into this.
Oh.
Listen, I fell into this back in December and January. Into a little, how do I say? It was a notification or a suggestion on my YouTube channel, my original one from 2006. No, this is not my original one. I have 25 subscribers on it. Into the true crime community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's nothing but drama, drama, drama. I never seen anything like this in my life. I was like, I'm sitting here like, oh my God, this is real. No, it's not. Yes.
Well, what
is.
sucks
No,
is
it's not.
having to deal with just sort of the mundane stuff, just like right now, having to explain to people, because now it's going to be, well, how come, Becky didn't check, nobody in the family checked to see if they were over at Anna's house. It's like, well, what value does that have? But it's going to, but people love it when they find this little thing, and it's not even an error. Okay, it's not even an error that they didn't check there. Libby was supposed to be back over at the parking area, and they never showed up. Then Derek goes walking around. Why would they weren't thinking, oh, wow, they started running somewhere. They were looking around all in that area. And then later, they called Anna, and then she went home, probably said, oh, they're not here too. Okay, so I think it worked absolutely the way it would normally work. I think it's crazy to think that there's something really weird about that. Nothing. Okay? Absolutely crazy. I just, wow. To sit there, it reminds me a little bit of the Kenneka Jenkins case. All the little tiny nuances that I had to always try to prove, yet they could claim anything. All day, every day, say the craziest shit in the world, but I had to explain every single thing logically. And sometimes it just doesn't fit into a neat little box like everybody wants to hear. Yeah, Jesus. Anyways, so you're just calling in to test out your mic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
headphones, and they're old. And
But
that's why I see the chat. I mean, I've got everything split screen and everything, so.
Yeah, but I do have I got a caller that's waiting to call in about the case, though.
All right, that's all I would do.
But it does sound pretty good, the mic. You gotta just boost it up a little bit. It's got good audio.
Kelly says that they're just quiet, so I'm like, okay, well, I have no idea until the next.
Well, you probably have to put the mic. What kind of mic do you have? Put your mouth right on speak right into the top of the mic. See.
Here, I'm gonna take the little fuzzy thing off.
Well, there you go. But yeah, you have to put I think you might have just a regular condenser type mic where you got to hold it right up to the top of it and talk into the top. Where Yeti microphones, you talk into the side.
Oh,
so,
these are headphones, and
oh, they're
there's a
headphones.
mic attached to the
I see.
ear.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
right.
I practically have the mic in my mouth.
Okay. All right.
That's crazy.
Well, it's working a little bit
I know
better.
that's great.
Okay. You probably need to boost up some kind of the gain or something somewhere. But anyways, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
All right.
Have a good
Thanks,
one.
Gray.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. All right. 913, you're on the air. was trying to get you on there. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Hey, Gray.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, not much. My name's, I'm going to go with Spain. That's my last name for all those trolls out there. Anyway, I was curious. Something that kind of perked my ears up back on the April 22nd press conference. I guess it was April 22nd. When they were, when they came up with the car, parked in the, they first said it was an abandoned car, but then they said the building that it was parked at was abandoned, and I don't think it's there anymore. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Yeah. Actually, no, but I think building. But I think the building is still. There's something there, but nobody's in the building. Well, hold on. Let me look. It might be gone now. There is Street View on. No, I thought I saw the video. The building's still there, right, Beth? So they just took it down. Because when you guys went there, it was still there, right? Because when I'm looking at Bonnie's video, the building's still there, but they must have taken it down in the last 2 years. Well, it was because I just saw it, Beth. There's a car parked there, right? Yeah. So 2 years ago it was still there, but they've taken it down since.
Yeah.
Then. Right. Actually, within the last year.
High octane speculation based on the box of facts, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, that building, from what I understand, used to be a Department of Social Services, and I think Child Protective Services used to be in there. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
I think it was something like that. Yeah, it sounds right.
I was just curious. I'm thinking about the kind of guy that would do something like this, and I'm not so much into the sexual motive, because it seemed like it happened so fast. I mean, he was out of there at 3 or 4. Let's say he couldn't have had much time with them. I'm wondering, I'm more motivated towards the rage side. What if this is a guy that the police checked, the last few years before that place closed down, of guys that lost custody of their kids that possibly were taken away because he was abusive to them, something along that line. And he doesn't live there anymore, and he drove back up there to commit some kind of rage act, in other words, like going in and shooting the place up. The place is closed down. So then he decides, well, there's a trail over here, an opportunity thing. He's walking over there, maybe drinking out of a flask, and here, lo and behold, there comes 2 kids, and he takes it out on them. And
I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm only laughing because
octane speculation, right?
That is high octane speculation. I mean, because it's like.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. You can make a whole story about it, and you're like,
I don't believe in coincidences about the child. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. About the Child Protective Services, they just kind of, here's 2 children, and he killed 2 children, and I just don't believe, just from everything I've been following for the last 8 months or so, that he had enough time to really be a sexual deviant.
But people park over there. Possibly. The thing is people like that go to the bridge. And there isn't a ton of parking areas that you're not on, so people might park there. They park kind of over there by the. I think there's a couple spots. There might be like one here that you might park at. I don't know, but there just isn't a lot of park. I think when Beth went out there, she parked over here somewhere. Didn't you park over by the Freedom Bridge or something like that? But anyways, what's interesting right here though is this shot right here is 7/12/2018, and the building's still there, right? So if you go down to Street View, if you go to Street View, which is right on the freeway next to it, because there isn't one inside there, you go to Street View. And then you take a turn to the right. Now it's not there anymore, and there's even like a dozer, mini dozer, and that's August 2018. So within 1 month of that shot that you see it in, it was removed. So it was removed somewhere between July and August 2018. And the car was parked, I think, what they're saying, it was parked in this parking, in this area right here. Like maybe just right here.
Right.
And so you think he parked there as some sort of an homage to a perhaps
bad experience he had having the government take his kids away, and some kind of dirtbag like that. I could just see him thinking like that and letting it eat at him for a while. I mean, I don't know, but like I said, it's high octane. But my ears just perked up because what's the coincidences of it being he parked in a a child protective services type building, and then went and killed 2 children.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but I that building's there, and I didn't know what it was. I don't think many people actually knew what that building was because it hadn't been used for a long time. But maybe he
well,
did.
you would know what it was if you.
Right,
yeah,
but other people parked there.
Though. If you've been there.
But other people parked there all the time.
True.
They didn't know what that was. Maybe.
Sure.
I mean, maybe everybody knew it.
And like I said. Yeah, and like I said, but everybody that parks there doesn't go kill kids. That's speculation.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's just to me, it seems like something. If I was the people investigating this, that I would maybe look in the last 3 years and see what kind of people fit the profile that had a bad experience there with their children, have them taken away. I mean, just they seem like they're stalled in their, it's 2 years, it's 2.5 years.
You'd think, though, he'd want to, he'd want to leave something to let him know, but he...
Maybe he did. We don't know everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you're right, though. I mean, it is speculation. You were honest at the beginning.
Totally. Yeah, no, it's totally.
But I can tell it's something that you're not going to let drop.
I'm trying to think outside of the...
Yeah.
Pardon me?
I can tell you're not going to let it drop.
No, I'm just...
it's going to be in your head.
No,
you've got a whole story built with
no, not at all. No, I'm totally open on this. I don't have a clue like anybody else. I followed it, and I know the whole area and everything about it. At the same time, this blue flannel shirt guy, I'm not clear on this. Did he actually see the guy, or he just saw a couple underneath the bridge? I've heard 2 different deals on this. What do you know about that?
Well, he said he saw a couple, like a guy and a girl, under the bridge.
Right.
But he said he didn't see the girls, but they were there. That's way later, though. That's the thing. See, when Derek got there, when he finally got down. It was 3:15 when he started walking down the trail, and the girls were probably off the back end no later than 2:30, I would say. So it had, those people. I think they were part of there was a group of people that were going to meet somebody named Cheyenne out there, or something like that, and they were there first, and then she came, and it's. So Derek then didn't go down to the bridge because he said, no, I didn't see any 2 young girls down there or anything. So he went down the other trail, and then he came back up, and then he went from there. I think he called at that point to Becky, and then he walked all the way to the Freedom Bridge and then was back at the parking area at 4 o'clock. And that's when everybody started showing up and everybody started searching. And they searched late into the evening. The FBI guy came out. Everybody came out. Nobody found them. And then the next morning, they started searching again at 10. And then at 12:45, they found them. Now, see, here's the thing is, doesn't it even seem weird that it would take 2 hours and 45 minutes in complete daylight with a huge search party to find those girls? See, that just shows you how well they were hidden where they were. So that's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so at night, there was almost no chance,
Yeah, and I always thought it was weird. I follow what you're saying because it worked out pretty good for him. But I always thought it was weird if a guy's got a sexual motive, and I don't know about you, but if I get all in ice cold water up to my knees, I'm not really feeling real sexually driven after something like that. I mean, just to put it crudely, maybe then it turned into rage, but it doesn't sound to me, from everything I know about it, doesn't sound like he spent that much time with them. It was a wham bam and he was out of there. Am I wrong on that?
Well, I think he might have been there a little bit longer than what you're saying. Hey, but hold on. But Beth's up there said the couple wasn't under the bridge, but that's what Becky told me Derek said. So where are you hearing what you heard? Where was the couple that... I'm talking to somebody else in the chat.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
But, yeah. Let's see.
That's the story I heard, and I always thought that was weird, too, that there was a couple walking under the bridge.
Okay, where were they seen then?
There's a lot of weird stuff.
Well, why didn't you, once you said that they weren't, why didn't you type in the next sentence where they were seen? Why not just, where were they seen? Just type it in, for Christ's sake. It's not a big deal, you know. It's like it's information that's out there. Jesus. Yeah, it's just. Well, they weren't under the bridge. Okay, well, where were they? Ask Becky. Yeah. Well, just say where. You know, it's not a secret, right? Anyways, what's it saying? All right. So what was that last? The last part you were saying?
I just thought it was strange that if there was actually a couple walking under the bridge, I just thought that was kind of strange.
Yeah.
Were they on the road on the other side where the kids crossed down, or were there's no road on that side where they were found?
Yeah, I'm just kind of I don't know this whole I mean I've been doing shows the whole day and I don't know I'm really irritated on this whole last thing. Plus the first show crashed and then I had to sign back up again, and then we got this show and we got all these crazy people in the chat going, yeah, wow, that's so great, yeah, why didn't they go ask over the it's insane. All right, I don't know. I like sort of rational thinking where it's sort of bigger picture, trying to figure something out instead of trying to figure out these tiny little nuances. Well, I heard one of her shoes was untied. Who would walk around with one of their shoes untied? That's crazy. My God, let's spend an hour and a half trying to figure out. That's what happens.
Yeah. I got one last question for you, and hopefully I wasn't too tedious on this.
No, it was good. It was good.
I noticed following you for a while, and I really enjoyed watching you. I noticed at one time, and I could be wrong on this, but I think I'm right, but you said that you thought that the killer, after he did his deed, went through the woods and came back out on the walking trail and walked back out that way. And then I noticed last night you said you believe he went up through the graveyard. What made you change your mind?
Well, yeah, I mean, that was a long time ago when I was saying the other one, right?
Right. That's how long I've been following this.
Yeah. Well, because they're saying that the car is parked around this corner, and then I don't think he'd walk down the trail because it's right by. You wouldn't walk across the bridge, right? Wouldn't that be kind of dumb?
Right. No.
Yeah.
He's already on the other side, though.
Right. Yeah. So he would go up to the cemetery.
The way you showed it was logical. Both times was logical.
Yeah. Well, the other one was like through the.
Why you changed?
What did I say the other time? Like through the woods here or something like that, or what?
The other time was you actually showed it on the map where you showed he could just walk up here and go through a little bit of woods and come back out on the walking trail and walk on back out to the Freedom Bridge and then walk back, to the building.
Mm-hmm.
And then last night, the first time I've heard you say that you thought he came right up through the cemetery. So I was like, oh, wow, what made him change that? And I was just curious what made you change that?
Who knows? I just gotta sometimes but here's the thing is it was pretty good. He walked down this way. I mean, I have other information, that I've heard, but I can't really say that kind of stuff, but it makes more sense to me. This whole new information here, where this truck is here, law enforcement kind of opened up the whole thing about, oh wow, so the guy probably came from this side, right? So he'd have to get back to the car somehow. So it's kind of logical that he would come up through the graveyard and just walk down the road here, because he wouldn't have to. Now he could have walked through like this and kind of hugged the tree line, things like that, but. And just walking down that street.
But the conspiracy people are going to say, "Ooh, Gray said it was a truck," because you just said a truck.
Well, whatever. Because my picture's a truck. Yeah. That's because my picture's a truck. Okay, a car. Okay, everybody. See my little picture? They don't have a car.
You got to make sure you clarify that, because that's going to be
right. Like earlier, I had to clarify.
It's a truck.
I had to clarify that wasn't a pine tree right here earlier. Okay, so right. That was just a tree, everybody. That didn't necessarily mean that there was some magical pine tree floating in the air. It's just
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's good. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. But, you're keeping it real, so I really appreciate it. And thanks for taking my call. That's about all I got, I think.
Oh, that was a good call. That was a good call. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Hey.
All right, bye.
You're welcome. All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah. Yeah. So, as you guys probably know by now, like if you call in and it's something gonna be negative, like that you're implying about some sort of a, like Becky or Mike or any of those, it's just not gonna go well. Okay, so I'm not the channel for you if you want to do that kind of conspiracy stuff. So there's plenty of other ones that love that shit. Okay, I like to talk about stuff that's real. Like the actual stuff that we know, and then kind of look at it. And now there's stuff out there, you got all these people talking about Garrett Kurtz every 5 seconds. They just can't wait to say his name again. They're so positive it's him. And yet law enforcement, even though he's in prison, haven't made an arrest of him for that. And my God, now he's like, now all of a sudden, Ron Logan is a second father to Garrett Kurtz. I mean, it's like they've been together forever. He took him fishing, did all kinds of things with this kid. It's amazing. Come on. All right, 757, you're on the air.
Hi, Gray. It's Phoebe again.
Hey, Phoebe. What's
Phoebe
up?
Beach.
Phoebe
Hey.
Beach. Yeah, there was a couple Phoebes.
Yeah. Yeah, I remembered that last night when I said, hey, it's Phoebe.
Yeah.
I just had a quick thought. When you had the map that's up there now, zoomed in some more, you see where it says law enforcement vehicles, the little blue car?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
On your map?
Yeah.
What does that road lead to? It looks like a...
Oh, just there's a house over here. Somebody lives there. I think that's like K or something. Who lives there? Was I right?
Okay, and so that's the only way...
Yeah. It's just a private drive. It's not... There's a road that goes to here, and then about in this area there's a gate, and then this is just a private road, and it only leads to this house right here. That's it.
Okay.
Right.
Well, the reason I just looking at the map a little differently when I was looking at the red line that's drawn where they went down the hill and they sort of hugged that little private drive, it made me wonder if he was actually parked further down. If the goal was to try to get the girls into a car, say, in a hidden...
Well, but there's a locked gate, though, before that. I mean, I don't know if the gate's always locked or what, but there's a gate right around, like, I think right in this area, right in here. I think right there, actually. There's like there's a gate on the ground, and I don't know if it's always locked, but yeah, if it was open, he could have driven down there. But then you're implying that he parked here, then he walked all the way across the bridge again, waited for the girls, and followed them across. Because he didn't do one of those things where he walked past them and turned around. That didn't happen. Okay. Is that what you're saying, or? Hello? Do we get this? Oh, I thought we got disconnected.
No. I'm thinking. You just asked me a lot.
Because you see him walking towards the girls this direction, right? So if he had parked over here, how did he get here? That means you're saying that he either, when they were coming, he passed them, but we know that's not what happened because just based on what we know that they said, stuff like he's following us, right? And then he comes up and says, hey guys, but he would have said that twice, right? Like he'd already passed them once when he got onto the bridge. He would have said, hey guys, then he says, hey guys again. I don't know.
Maybe he got there an hour or two before they did, and he was milling around. I was just wondering if his vehicle was parked further down from where you have LE vehicle parked, marked on that.
Yeah, that's where they were
drive.
that's where they were all parked. That and one of the helicopter footage. That's why I have it there. They were parked. Kind of.
I know. I'm just
around.
using it as a mark because the red line sort of goes close to that road. So I'm wondering.
Well, yeah,
was
because
his intent to.
Well, yeah, but let me just tell you why. I mean, if you went down the hill and down the hill, it's not like you'd walk out here where everybody on the bridge could go, oh wow, there's people over there. You're kind of down here and you're hugging the tree line because it's further away from, it's the furthest point from anywhere else on the bridge that you could be, and you're kind of out of view from anybody over here too, kind of right below. It's kind of a steep hill over there. I don't think the hugging the road has, means like he parked up on the road there. It's really I've actually seen videos really thick right here. Like this stuff right here, I thought originally a long time ago that maybe he said down the hill, then they walked down the private drive and then went down the hill over the second hill over here. But when you look at it, it's literally just absolutely thick. I'm not saying it's still not something that could have happened. I believe that the first down the hill was on the on the left-hand side of here. Now we got the people like, oh man. What do you're going to call in Mike Cunningham and talk about we still don't know where down the hill was? Because we do. You don't, unfortunately. All right. So you think you're just thinking maybe the car parked over here, and then
he had parked his car in a crook of the road, like to the left of where the law enforcement vehicle is. To the left of the law enforcement icon.
Yeah. Like right at that corner, right?
In order to get the girls in the car to get out of there to kidnap them, to do something else with them, but one of them escaped across the river. And he followed and had to do.
Why didn't he just walk him down the private drive to the car, though? Because they got all. I mean, they obviously made it all the way down here. Are you thinking that the car was up here? He was on the way to the car. Then both girls made a run for it down the hill, the second hill, and then just tried to get. And then he caught up to him. I mean, that's not impossible what you're saying, but.
Okay. Well, it was just a thought. I just was looking at that map a little differently tonight, and I noticed that red line next to that road, and I thought, well, what, was he trying to get them into his ar so he could drive off with them?
Yeah, and keep in mind, I'm just drawing this. Yeah, I mean, I'm just making this line, though, you see? Okay. This is my theory, that they went down the hill, and then over here is that shallow area, right? So that's probably where they initially, because right over here there's a little deeper, so you maybe went like this, and then there's a little sort of a bar there. You could kind of go across and maybe come up over here, and then they were found over here. But I don't really know for sure if this is how they walked. That's just, they could have went like this, and then like that, So it's my fault that I drew that too close to the road.
Yeah, if you had drawn it straight across, I never would have called tonight.
Hey, well, hell, maybe I should do it more like that, because then you'll call more, right?
Oh, I'll call you tomorrow night too.
All right, cool. All right.
All right, thanks, Ray.
All right, see ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh boy, here we go. Who we got here? 918.
Oh, it's not that. Oh boy, Gray. It's not about down the hill.
Here it is.
Actually, your people on the box area were asking about that vehicle over there at the old CPS. Now, I have the article in front of me, and they actually stated that this car was abandoned at the CPS.
No, that was incorrectly worded.
That's incorrectly worded.
Because he said. I don't care if you have the transcript. I have the transcript. It was corrected.
The press release too.
Yeah, but it was actually corrected later. What he meant to say was that he left the car there, and but it wasn't like, what do you call it? Like, let's say you park a car and then you go to a park for 4 hours and you come back. Is that abandoning the car?
Basically, what I'm saying is they have the information about that car and driver, and there's nothing that has been.
I don't agree with you at all.
Evidentially added that says that car and person is the killer's car.
Yeah, but the car wasn't abandoned there, because if it was abandoned, they would have the car, right?
I'm trying to tell you is they have that.
Well, they don't, because it was actually clarified later. I was like, "Wow, what do you guys? What do you mean by that?"
Can you show me exactly? Because I'm on the computer right now. Can you show me exactly where it was clarified?
Yeah, it was. It was a conversation that I had, It was just bad wording. He said, yeah, the car was abandoned there, and then so if it was abandoned there, they already would have the car, right? So why would they need anybody's help in identifying the car? So
it's possible that the driver is not the owner.
Oh boy, look at the car wasn't abandoned there. Okay, it was just left there for a while, like you would if you just parked the car there, went and did what you were doing. So let's say he parked the car there at 1, right? And then he did what he did, and then at 3:45 he came back. Well, did he abandon that car, or that's just the wording? See, Carter words things incorrectly a lot. All right, that's what happens. And so the problem is people like you who are into the conspiracy angles every single time. You pick out. Well, it is because you pick out because I went through the extra work to actually clarify it because I wanted to. You didn't care because it was like, wow, all right, this fits right into something wild.
Let's see here. You have an article link saying it. You have it on his directly press itself.
Yeah.
Which
because it's the same.
CC,
yeah, of course it's the same thing. It's the same. It's a transcript of the same thing. So why wouldn't it say that? Of course it's going to say that.
How is it a actual physical transcript, Gray?
How about this? Do this tomorrow. Get on the phone and call and say and ask them.
On the press itself, and I press the closed caption. Do you understand how?
Yeah, try doing. Yeah, right. Yeah. So what I'm saying is yes, he did say that. It was just clarified later. Yeah. So do this tomorrow. Call the police. Yeah, but I'm not going to take the time right now. And then
so you're
and
saying
go find
the police and ask them.
Yeah, go like this.
Redact that
no, yeah, we'll just call them and say, did you guys mean that the car was abandoned there, or what did that mean? And they go, oh no, what he meant was that it was just parked there, and then later it was gone. But the vehicle was by itself
He didn't
for a
redact
while.
it himself. He didn't physically redact it himself.
Yeah. Well, how about this? I'll let you go with the conspiracy on this. But I feel really comfortable with the answer.
The conspiracy. Did you think you know exactly where down the hill is? When Holman even said, all YouTubers, including yourself,
but that has nothing to do with that.
Are not actually anywhere close to.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that at all.
Yeah,
That's not what he said.
He did.
No,
yes, he did.
I just played the whole damn thing. I just played the whole damn thing.
Even have the audacity to even have an interview.
All right, see you later, buddy. This guy's an idiot. That's how it works on this channel there. All right, clown? See you later. All right, who's this one? 304, you're on the air.
Once again, it's Cairo.
Hey, Cairo,
I have
what's going on?
I got nothing to do with that last nonsense. I'm calling in regards to the lady before it. Originally, I was the guy that said he was parked on the private drive.
Mm-hmm.
Your videos made me think maybe not. I was there like a week or two ago. Driving out there, it's old people. It's a bunch of old people. They noticed they would have known a car was back there.
Right.
Like I was a mile away, and they were already out on their porch. So with that and you, I have realized that the car was somewhere other than the private drive for sure.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say that.
Well, cool. See, at least. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you ever think of, all right, so in the last couple of days, because of your marathon of these, I've been listening to all the media again, all the podcasts, and they all contradict each other. Did you ever think of making a video of the facts as we know them now? You need to.
Well, I think I've done it a million. I think I've done it like a million times. I mean, I've even, the thing is, you got people like Mike that will never be convinced of anything.
Done.
Yeah, well, the guys like that will never. They just always have to find something kind of weird when sometimes it's just not really that weird. There isn't really something there. Now Holman did say, he goes, "Oh yeah, these Facebook groups they don't help out at all." But that's not what we're doing here. The video was right there, and he says down the hill, right at the end of the bridge. So obviously the bridge, down the hill is going to be right there. And then you find them where they were found. And they even told me that my flow theory was correct. So I'm not really sure what he's referring to, you know. So
you have a relationship with these people. Obviously, they're not talking about you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, you know, I'm not buddy where I talk him every, you know, I've just text every once in a while or something like that. But they never, you know, they don't give me all this deep information. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that early on, you know, stuff was confirmed only about the flow of the crime. It's not helping find the guy or anything. It's just like, this is how it went down. It went across the bridge, down the hill, across the creek. This is where they were found. Okay, and so that's just it. I don't know how to explain it. It just is so obvious that down the hill was right there. It's just what it is.
Listen, obviously, I'm not the guy that has to say this, but you're doing good. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
you're
well,
helping.
I appreciate
You
it.
really are.
Sometimes I get, like today's show, I was just like, I don't know. It seemed like I just couldn't believe some of the stuff you're hearing, like the suggestive comments. So, I don't know. Might have to rethink that part of it.
don't let it get to you, because like there's a bunch of us that are loving this, and you are making people think properly.
All right. Well, good. All right. Well, thanks, Cairo.
Have a good night, Greg. I'll
you
be
too.
listening.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right. 402, you're on the air there.
Hi, Gray.
Hello. Who's this?
How are you? I'm Miranda.
Amanda.
And
hey.
I have Rhonda.
Oh, Rhonda.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I've been following this for a while, but I haven't. I mean, I've done some listening to different YouTubers, but let's see. I wanted to run a couple things by you, see what you thought, because you seem to be more of the realistic about this, and some people that do go off on these theories. It's bad enough you get people to call in doing that, let alone YouTubers that do that, and then they get, like with the Watts case, there's a couple of people that just go off on some thing, and it's like, I don't know what they're talking about. But anyway, I had a couple things I wanted to run by you. The route that you have of them coming down the hill and then going along the tree line, the news lady, the one where she said about the phone that you were playing, that I don't remember which news channel it was, but where you were verifying, where she said that the phone was found, was at the scene. Was it at the scene or near the scene?
Well, yeah, I mean, she sort of said, like, he didn't really say exactly where it was found, but
she said at the news lady did.
Right, and then he said, yeah,
either way, I was just thinking
he confirmed it basically though in there.
They did. Oh, okay. Because I'm wondering. I'm thinking, she could have threw the phone, thinking, he's.
No, I mean, he confirmed. He confirmed that the phone was found, not that it was never found, like people are saying.
Okay, yeah. Because I mean, it just had to be a hurried thing. It wasn't like, I'm sure he was hurried, So either way, if he may have had that, because the news lady said on that same thing that there was a few people that they got the original sketch from that were seeing him walking the trails that day. So he was planning it out, obviously beforehand, and the bridge is a perfect place to catch somebody alone that he could see there was nobody ahead or behind, as you were saying. So then you have to go down that route. But I'm finding it hard to believe that they didn't try to escape or run.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised at all. But I wouldn't be like, my thing is I wouldn't be surprised at all if he'd walked down the trail first and actually stood here and kind of looked around. Then he walked back and was over here for a while, seeing that nobody, that everybody that walked there had come back. So he really knew that there was nobody down there.
He knew. Yeah, so he didn't necessarily have to be from the area. He just went there and he had it scanned out, because the bridge is a perfect place to get to know where somebody's not coming or going. Because he could have hid down in the woods and got him, but he didn't. He got him on that bridge, which was perfect, opportunistic or whatever, but still planned. But, if they were running or whatever, she could have threw the phone, away. So, because for him not to take the phone or destroy the phone or something, it's just, unreal. So he was in a hurry. He had to be hurried not to think of that, if he's seen her with a phone, even, not to recover it somehow. Seems odd.
Yeah.
And also, maybe he planned to going across the river. Do you think maybe to throw a scent off possibly from dogs? There's another thing that shows possibly premeditated, a little more that could have thrown
Well, that's kind of what we were saying earlier. Like earlier,
Okay.
We were saying, that was just sort of like, one person joked around about it, but I had said prior, like maybe that's a thought that he had. You cross the creek and the dogs, but that's sort of like a movies thing. Dogs can track across creeks too through the air. So.
Right. Yeah, they would have got. But then also, when they did get across the creek, they were more envisioned from the bridge area and stuff. Not in the tree line. Maybe he planned on going there, and if they tried to run, then they went across the creek. That maybe wasn't an original plan, but they're more in view over there. You'd think, I don't have it up on my screen now where you had the route, but they are more in view across the river from the bridge area even. So it just seems to me like it was, they could have tried to run. They had to try to run. I mean, how could you not, or something, I mean, even threatened with a gun. I mean, you can threaten with a gun and not be, I guess you don't have to, you don't have to have a gun and use it to get somebody to control them. But I just think he was just, and I don't know if it's a pedophile or not, but there's many cases where the young kids and then they're killed like this, and it's just awful. But what else was I wanted to ask you what you thought. I can't remember now. Oh, the original sketches. The original sketch looks way more like the guy on the bridge than the newer one. With the younger guy looking.
Yeah, it seemed
totally
like
two different people. So I don't. Yeah, to me, I don't know why it's a totally different person.
Yeah, unfortunately, having two sketches, you get a lot of these people out there that say there's two killers, there's two people there, because there's two sketches. But in reality, they actually have said, ignore Carter is the one that makes confusion for people, but somebody else said, ignore the second one. The first one is who we're looking for. There's not two people that they said. Basically, what it is this.
Right.
There's one killer. They just got the sketch wrong the first time, they believe, and now they're using the original sketch because they think that's more accurate, and they're going with that. That's the truth of it. But the conspiracy people are like, oh, there's really just there's two people out there. One of them's this one, and this one's this one, and they work together, and it's nuts. Okay.
No, it totally looks like the guy on the bridge, the first sketch that you came out with. It might not have been their first one where he looks younger, but the older looking guy, plus the guy's gait and the walk and he looks older anyway. His whole body, just looks older. So.
Oh. Hey, you guys got to hold on. I'm sorry, but Blue just ran up to me and hit me in the leg because he has to go pee. It's cool how he does it, but hold on a second.
Okay.
Yeah, you're running the show. Did you keep talking?
No, I didn't. I didn't know what to say, but I should have written down what I wanted to ask more. But as far as with the phone thing and about the route, I mean, it seems like the likely route that what you had originally.
No, Blue's still outside. Sorry.
Okay. But I don't know what anybody thinks. I don't know if it matters or not, whether she threw the phone or whatever. But I just think.
I think they found the phone. But I think people should go in the description of this video is the interview with Holman. Listen to it again and really just don't read the chat. Like later on, everybody just do it on their own. Watch it, listen to every single word of it, and you'll get a lot of information clarified that other people still don't know. Okay, it's all sitting in there. There's a lot of stuff. He gave a lot of information out early on, and people.
Oh, also with the search party when they said they ended it that night, I heard one of the the law enforcement on an interview on TV. I don't remember the video or whatever I've seen, but he stated that they may have called the search off, but there was still people that were searching through the night that volunteered to do that were doing it. It wasn't the fire department and stuff, but there was other people that decided to, chose to keep searching through the night. So it wasn't all called off totally anyway. So, but okay, next time I'll have written down my questions and.
Yeah.
So, and you're great. Don't let these people, that's what you got to do. Just hang up. It's not worth it. So, they get off on a tangent and whatever. So, okay, great. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, you
and
too. Thanks for calling
Keep up the good work.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
So how many people were looking around still? Like, who was looking around all night? Because if it was my kid, if I had a kid, there's no way in hell I could go to sleep at night knowing that I'm not out looking. Right? So I think a lot of people, probably family members, friends, everybody were out there looking. It'd be tough, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Family and friends, right? Yep. And where were they searching? Did anybody come close to searching in the right spot? That's verified, not just people saying, "Oh, they walked right over them." Like you always hear. I mean, I don't think I could sleep at night if Blue got lost. Right? I mean, I would just be freaking out, That's right. I'd be out there with my drone. Yeah, there's not like there's any street lights or anything. So you'd have to have flashlights, lanterns, all that kind of shit. I just think that they probably weren't searching very much over on the cemetery side, especially that far over. There might have been people that looked, at the trail, the bridge start, went to the left a little bit, maybe walked around, called name, didn't hear anything, so then he went back. I don't know if there's anybody that the first night parked at the cemetery and walked down or anything like that. Oh. Oh, did somebody just call in? I just lost that number that was on the screen. Sorry about that. Can you call back in if there was somebody on hold there? It was I think a 918 number. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. Wait, you can't even call. Ah, crap. Ew. Well, you won't be able to call back in. I'm sorry. Unless I start a new meeting. Type in the chat if there was somebody that was just on hold there, but I hung up on. Yeah. $918? Huh. I don't know. What's that mean? All right. Well, what the hell, Gray? Just now you did? Just now, Rodeo Clown? Huh. I didn't see it. Let's see. Maybe it didn't work. I've got it Streamlabs open though. Let's see. I'll be sad having to call you Rodeo Clown all the time.
Hello?
Yeah. Hey, hold on a second.
It's Fastmere.
Yeah, I don't see it in there, Rodeo Clown. Sorry about that. Hey, what's going on? I didn't think
Hey. I've been watching chat, and it's just killing me. I'm like, oh my God, what did I walk into? I was at work, and I came home, and I was like, oh my God. It's like every person that's got a really bad opinion is in there.
Yeah. Trying to figure out how you, because normally I have it set to, like right now it's set to that you're on mute when you come in and that you can't take it off, but somehow you were able to bypass all of that. I think you're like a super ninja on the phone. I'm not sure how you did that.
Well, it said I could unmute myself, and I unmuted myself.
Right, but my settings say I don't have checked the thing that says allow participants to unmute themselves. Right? So you shouldn't have been able to do that technically, but man, you really wow, we gotta watch out for Sassmare, everybody. She might be a hacker in disguise. You know what I'm talking about? We don't know what
hacker, believe me. Believe me, I'm not a hacker. I'm just like, oh my God, what in the world's going on here?
Yeah.
You know, these people just need to realize these little old girls was just kids.
Yep.
They was country kids.
Right.
They wasn't worried about this person until they seen him acting weird.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is
And
people say, "Oh, go ahead, finish your thought." I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You said, and that's when.
That's you know, they wasn't thinking until he started acting weird that maybe they need to record him.
Right.
And Libby was like, okay, you know, this dude's acting weird.
Right.
And her best friend's right there in front of her. And he's coming up behind her. And they've done seen him once, maybe twice, who knows. And God help me, I think that he put a gun to her head. I think that he put a gun to Abby's head, and that's how he got Libby to do whatever he wanted her to do. You know.
Yeah.
That's the only way. That's the only way I can see him being able to control them both.
Like with a gun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think when people say stuff like, why didn't they run? I always wonder what their motivation is.
Well,
like, because they would have ran? You know, I don't see. I think what they're
going to run with the.
Right. But what they're suggesting when they say this is that what they're either saying is, I'm so much better, or they must have known the person because they didn't run. Well, here's the thing is, there's no evidence at all that they knew the person at all based on anything that anybody has seen in the videos. Yeah, and if they'd known the person, you probably wouldn't be recording. And the reason they didn't run is because that's kind of weird. It's weird to run, actually. I mean, think about, like, let's say you're on a bridge and the person isn't a mean person at all. That's just the feeling that you have. It would be weird to start running, okay? That'd be crazy. Right. Like people go, how come you were running? What's going on? I was just... Okay, but it turns out that the reason her instincts ended up being correct, that he was a nefarious, a horrible human, right? But the thing is it's weird to just start running. Imagine, for example, if you're in a crappy neighborhood and you're walking down the street and then you walk by some people that you think, and you start running away from them, you'd look crazy. People would be like, what are you doing? What's going on?
I want to throw something in there. Can I throw something in there?
Well, sure.
Libby was thinking also, Abby was not used to the bridge, right?
Yeah, slower.
She's not going to say run. She's not going to tell her to freaking run.
Well, that's a good point, too.
She's not going to do it.
Like right off the bat, yeah. But either way, though, it's like you're not going to run, and when you would wish where you could run is you wish that he didn't have a gun or something like that, right? So like if he had said, "Hey, get down the hill, and there was no gun or knife, nothing to threaten them, they could have just taken off. Okay, but instead they couldn't.
Well, Libby was a smart girl. Libby's a smart girl. She could have picked something up and bashed him right in the head.
Well, I think they're both pretty smart. It's just I think Libby's probably more athletic
now,
or whatever.
When
but I don't think they're. I think they're both smart.
When you got a gun.
Yeah,
they're very smart girls.
Yeah.
But you got somebody with a gun, and that's my whole heart tells me that that's what happened.
Yeah.
She seen a gun with Abby, and that was all that Libby could see.
Yeah, I mean, he just probably, he could have just pulled it out, and they were both there, and he said, get down the hill, and they both just kind of went down the hill, and he was up above them, behind him, keeping the gun on him, making sure that they make it down the hill, and then he just kept, who knows? I mean, I think law enforcement, you can kind of tell by Holman that they probably have more footage somewhere. There's a lot more information.
Well, when they said that your worst nightmare is what happened, that's what gets me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably why they all. That's probably why they all.
This man do?
That's probably why they all feel the way they do. They always seem really sad, and because it brings back the memories. They do work other cases. And then,
I know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's everybody in chat, please leave the families alone. These families didn't have nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Please. And this Ron person, oh my God. He couldn't chase one of them, much less two.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not Ron Logan. Yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of people are now Ron Logan. See, Ron Logan, he should be like a mythical character that we find in Cracker Jack boxes. I mean, this guy is a legend. First he starts off, he's the killer, right? And everybody's tracking him down. Where was he? Was he over there at this? Was he over there at that? And now he is the second father to the real killer. Okay.
Well,
Garrett Kurtz, the real killer.
That dude they're talking about, he's the killer.
Yeah.
The dude they're talking about, he's the killer, but I don't think this is the same one.
Yeah, no, well, Garrett Kurtz, here's the thing, is Garrett Kurtz, it's possible he's the killer, okay? It's possible. All right? But at the same time, all this other stuff, they're making Ron Logan seem like he is just, wow, he's almost part of it because he's such a great fan. I don't even know how to explain it. It's driving me nuts, though, really. And it's kind of freaky. Here's what I want. Here's what I want, everybody. If it turns out to be Garrett Kurtz, I will say, hey, good job for the people who agreed with that. But for those of you who keep saying it's Garrett Kurtz over and over and over again, you're going to need to put together an apology tour about how absolutely obsessed you were and how excited you were on every single freaking comment made that even had the slightest support of it. Okay? It's a joke listening and watching that shit. That's why 2 of you got blocked. It was just this passive-aggressive, oh, great, oh, that was so awesome. Oh, that was awesome. Oh, wow, that was great. And if you do it, other people do it, they'll be gone too. See, I'm not one of those people that's like sitting around going, oh, wow, I got to be so kind. I can't wait to, I want to keep you, oh, please keep watching my video. I don't give a shit. If you want to watch my channel because you like it, watch it. If you think you're going to get good information from it, watch it. If you don't, get the hell out of here. I don't care. All right? Like the Mike Cunninghams of the world, I do not give a shit. Get the hell out of here. You're an embarrassment.
But everybody, just remember these were little girls that lived in a small town that didn't have these problems. They seen somebody acting weird. Luckily, we had Libby to record him.
Yeah.
God knows she did not think that she was going to die that day.
I mean, like if you let yourself go there, here's the thing: is I've done it a few times and it kind of freaks me out. Okay, see you later, Faith. Good, yeah. I like when idiots like you, the people who just can't deal with it, leave. All right, it's good stuff. All right, so let me see. When you let yourself go there, it gets freaky. Like you actually picture how they were. Like they were sitting there.
I don't do that.
Yeah,
I
don't do that. It's freaky because I've been when I was a kid. I had an incident where this car pulled up next to me, and they slid to a stop. I kind of remember there being like two adults, and they almost seemed like there was a kid in the back too. And they said, "Get in the car," and I just took off like a bullet, man. I mean, my first instance, I ran like 1,000 miles an hour. But the thing is, I was so scared. I would have jumped over anything. Like, I remember one time I was walking, too, at night, and this car came up behind me really quietly with the lights off and honked. And I just jumped into the air, over a fence, down a ravine, into a creek. I mean, it was like, because it was so freaky, right? And you just kind of know. And then there was another time. I mean, I don't mean to keep bringing up these times, but I was being taken home from basketball camp, and I was like, I think 10 or maybe like 11 or 12 or something like that. And the guy was driving everybody home, and I was the last one in the car. And then I said, "Okay, I live right here," and he kept driving. Okay, and so right at that moment, I had this absolute fear. I had my hand on the door to just jump out. I was just sitting there going, "Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God," and then he kept driving, but then eventually he took me home. But I always wondered what the hell he was doing, because he didn't say anything. It's kind of creepy, But that fear that I had, I can use it to that feeling that I had right at that moment when my hand was on the door, is how they probably felt as he was approaching. And the difference is, in their case, the fear actually manifested itself into the reality of the horror that they felt. See, that's what sucks. It's horrible. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I cannot imagine what these poor girls went through. I mean, I can in a way, because I've been through a lot of abuse in my life, but I've had a gun put to my head. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but she did not know it was loaded, and she dropped it real fast. But it scared the crap out of both of us.
Jeez.
But at the same time, it's Libby was looking at somebody coming at them. Abby was between them, and
yeah, and there was so much time. See, the thing is, they probably saw the person, 2 minutes before they got to the side that they were on. So the fear kept getting bigger. So like at first when you see him, you're like, oh yeah. But then you see that he just keeps kind of quickly walking. Something's not quite right. He's kind of coming at you, towards you, but you're still not really sure. Yeah, and you're just not really sure. And then it's just the fear turned to reality. That's the part that really, when I sit around and I'm thinking about it, that really bugs me a lot. So.
It does me too. That's when I try to just like, okay, it's time to quit thinking about it, Sass.
Yeah.
But them girls, they loved each other. They were best friends. They was going to see each other to the end here. Everybody needs to remember that.
Yeah.
They need to remember these families are going through hell.
That's right.
What they're going through, oh my God. I've had family members die.
Yeah.
you know, but never like this.
Yeah, I mean, like I've actually seen Mike get upset. Like when I did that interview for the show, you guys didn't see that part, but he actually, his eyes get red when he's talking. Like he's explaining how they used to practice, softball, bow and arrow, and stuff in the yard, and he was just going over that,
Oh
and
my God,
he got upset. He got upset on the call, but I didn't put that part in there, but it's just what it is.
They were athletes. They got into all kinds of sports.
Yeah.
They were happy little girls.
Yeah.
And that's what they were. Everybody needs to remember that. These ain't big teenagers out in the world doing all this crazy crap that everybody's trying to say they're trying to do. These are little country girls.
Yeah.
They're country girls. You're living in 3,000 people in a small town, and your biggest thing is to go out and walk the trail.
Yep. Yeah, it's just...
And there's nothing wrong with walking around in the mountains.
Yeah, it's just right there. It's not even really... It's just kind of, the thing is, it's just right here. It's not like it's some crazy... I mean, look at that. If you pan out and you look at this place, that's not some crazy remote area. Like, here's Delphi. There's just this little thing here, and it looks remote because it's like a facade of remoteness. There's literally just a little bit of a forest, area around it, and it's really not remote at all. It's like, it's this little patch in this area here, okay? It's just right outside of town. It's right there. Almost everybody knew about it, despite the fact that there's some people that have lived there for 30 years and had no clue. Okay, they're probably the same people that don't know their neighbor's name, okay? That's the reality. Hey, thanks, Kim F., for the super chat, by the way. Appreciate it.
Can you tell me something? When was the last murder before them two in that town?
Well, I didn't. Well, hold on a second. I didn't totally. The first part you said about, I got to respond to Nancy K. The part about Ron Logan, I just don't think is incredibly, like, it's possible, sure. But the other part about going over to not checking Abby's mom's house, Anna's house, it just seems like I don't know what the point of that is. You get what I'm saying?
Why would they check?
But thank you.
Why would they check that house? Why would they check? They knew where they was at.
Well, they thought that Beck, but they thought Libby was supposed to be over at the parking area. So the first place I check wouldn't be her house because she wasn't even answering her phone. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of variables playing into it, and Libby was supposed to be picked up at that spot, and I think Libby does what she says she's going to do, and that didn't happen. And so, maybe when she called, I don't know how it worked, but it just doesn't seem weird to me. I don't know why. But I don't want it to start seeming weird to other people because it's really a tiny little thing.
It's not weird.
Yeah. But anyway,
it's not weird because.
Yeah. I got a couple more callers in here, and I don't want to have be one of those things where they're on hold for a million years. But man, okay. I feel bad for your, a couple of those stories you were telling there. It sucks. The whole.
Well, but I know what it feels like to be scared. And
being scared and then having it actually result in the ultimate fear is what really is the thing of nightmares, like they said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, crazy. Well, gosh, Sasmir, I appreciate you calling. I always enjoy having you in the chats, too. I see you every time.
I've been working for the past 3 days, so...
Yeah. That's right.
How come I haven't been able to come in?
Yeah. I think you even called my paranormal show once. Didn't you call my paranormal show once, too? Like a
Yeah.
nightmare, but a sassy nightmare. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, I appreciate you calling in.
That like button, everybody.
That's right. But thank you. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Love you, Gray.
Love you too. Talk to you later. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 765. You're on the air.
Yeah, I just got a couple of things I actually wanted to ask you. I was over at some trails with my family. We went out there and just to hike and just to look at it. And how far from the entrance of the trails were they actually? I know it was a quite distance from the bridge, but they actually went down the hill. How close was it to them getting ready to leave? You mean the
parking spot where they were dropped off, or?
Yeah.
Okay. So where
well, what I'm saying is, where the Hoosier Highway is. How far from that? Was it on that side, or was it the other side?
Well, I don't know what Hoosier, but where the Freedom Bridge is that Hoosier Highway?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they parked from the Freedom Bridge. It's about 0.4 miles to where the parking spot was. Okay. So, but I mean, the thing is, I don't know if you can see my map, but I'm on the screen right now. They parked right here. So, do you want to know how far it was from where they parked, where they were dropped off, and where they were?
The bridge,
Okay, but let me get my question out, because this is how I'm going to clarify it. Do you want to know where they were, the measurement from where they were dropped off and where they were going to be picked up to where?
To where they actually went down the hill.
Okay, all right. So that I'll measure it right here. Hold on a second. So right where they were dropped off, and then they come down the trail like this. I'll get you a really accurate measurement here. Hold on. To where they went down the hill. It was 0.49 miles. Just like a half mile exactly. It's not really that far, actually. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right where the cars park, you go straight ahead, and then you take a left. Then which is the old railroad tracks, and then it goes over the actual bridge, which still has remnants of the railroad tracks, and that all the way across to the other side, where you then go down the hill. It's 0.49 miles. So, and then from the park.
So, was it on which side of the bridge are they on at that point? Are they on the side that the entrance that you mentioned, where you go across that bridge, and then you go into the trail?
Well, the down the hillside's on the southeast side of the bridge, which is you cross over the river and you're on the southeast side. And then they crossed over again. Then they crossed over again at some point to get to where the crime scene is. Okay, so then they're back on the actual original side, but they're far away from that area. And a lot of people would say, oh, yeah, well, they must have walked back across the bridge and then all the way around to get to there, instead of just realizing that there's a really shallow section of the river where they were found.
Okay, I got you. Now, the second thing is, we went out there. I've been out there 3 times, and the third time we went out there, we actually went hiking on some trails, man. And I tell you, if you're not from there, you can get lost back in there. So I just don't see how anybody could have got out like that without knowing it, because I had to put my GPS to see where we was at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. The thing is the other day there was somebody, like, people that have watched my show a million times, and just like I guarantee it that if I was dropped off at the parking spot or the cemetery, that I could find all these locations with no problem at all. And I think that most of the people that have seen these maps a million times could just go there, know that you could get down, walk down the trail, go to the cemetery, go down. There's where the crime scene is. You could cross the creek there, even if you wanted to, go up the other side. I don't think you'd get lost at all. Like, if you had this map that I'm looking at, and you've seen it.
No, I wish I would have had that when I went out there. If I had that when I went out there, it'd have been simple.
Well, next time you go out there, let me know. I'll send you a map the next time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back out there now since you told me about the area. I just want to take a look. That's all.
Yeah.
But that's all I got. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in.
All right, man.
Bye-bye. All right, 512, you're not on yet. I'll be back in about a minute. All right, so hold on a second. Yeah. Oh, I guess, okay. Alright, 512, you're on the air there. 512.
Hey, Greg, can you hear me?
Yep. I had to go use the facilities. Sorry about that.
Ah.
Too much information, Gray. I've been sitting here for like 4 hours now. I got it.
No, it's okay. It was pretty rapid. I have a couple of things I wanted to bounce off of you. I've heard this, I guess it's a rumor, but it does seem kind of legitimate just because people are referring to their death notifications. But I had heard that the girls died on one of them, I believe Liberty it says she died on February 13th, whereas Abby, it says February 14th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the family gets to choose. The family got to choose what date they wanted.
Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean that it could just be as simple as
What is that?
she wanted it to be on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they were thinking Valentine's Day. It was just like, do you want to be the day that they were probably, killed, or the day you were discovered?
That makes absolute sense because there's I don't know, there's something about this that I'm not very sure of much, obviously, but I really do strongly feel that the motive is sexual as opposed to I
think you're right. I think there's a sexual component to it.
Exactly, which people don't realize that doesn't necessarily mean that they were raped or
right,
it can be a sexual crime, but I just find it, whether or not he knew the area, which I tend to think that he probably is from at least I don't know, a couple hundred miles or something like that. I don't think that he is just like some guy from Miami that happened to take I just think it's unlikely. But I just find it, doing it outside in daylight very strange. And
Well, it's the only time somebody would be
that
there,
leads-
though. Like, I don't think kids would be running around at the bridge in the dark. See, that's the thing. It's too dangerous. There's no parent would let their kids go to that bridge in the dark because you could just fall right off. It's pitch black, right? But the thing is you
Well,
know,
I know, but
it's the daytime, so that's when they
but
would
then
be
why-
there.
and that just leads to, I mean, some people have come up with some very bizarre things, like he killed them in an abandoned building and then I swear to God, they brought the bodies back on sleds in the middle of the night when no one was searching. And I was like, all right, the abandoned building had me intrigued. The sleds, goodbye. That's a bit much, but
Yeah.
I think it's, and I don't necessarily think that it was targeted towards them. I kind of agree with you that he probably was looking to sexually assault and kill somebody, not them, because why would he?
Yeah.
If he had targeted them through social media, there would be some record of that.
Well,
surely.
I think it almost proves that they. I mean, it's always possible that they were targeted. I don't know that specifically they were targeted, meaning I'm going to go after Abby and Libby today. Okay, now when at some point they were specifically targeted as just people that he thought, oh, here's an opportunity. But the thing is I don't know. I think what it sort of shows that they weren't his original targets just by the fact that they were the two that fit into this trap type thing. Because if he tried to make that happen, people would know who he was. Like if he said, hey, go this way. Hey, go that way. I need to keep this free for only them to be down there. The fact that they fit into that trap, to me, given the fact that there were other kids out there that day, whatever, means to me that they were not his. He didn't go there specifically to target them, just a target of opportunity, and they were the two people that fit into that.
Yeah.
So.
I definitely agree, and I also wonder if maybe he saw them being dropped off while he was driving around, because that does seem like an odd. You'd think a sexual predator.
Well, but here's the thing.
would go to like a mall.
I know, but hold on. But what you just said right there is the exact opposite of what I was just saying. Because if he was driving around and he saw them dropped off, that means he did go there to target them specifically. He didn't know their names, and then at that point, he just got miraculously lucky.
What I mean.
He got miraculously lucky that they fit into this thing where there was nobody in front of him and nobody behind them. I think it was more that he was sitting there kind of waiting around and then saw two, like basically when you watch like a cheetah hunt or lionesses, right? They go around and they see wildebeest sort of get a little bit away from the herd, and then as it gets farther, then they make their attack and then they chase that away. That's sort of what I see. Like there might have been people around, but then they wandered off and they separated themselves from the rest of them. And then this guy kind of, lurking around, kept kind of following around, and then saw, ooh, here's my opportunity. And he goes, boom. See? And then he just went after them, took him. Yeah, it's crazy. But that's my picture of it, because I can't see how somebody would just get, if they were the target, how they'd be absolutely that lucky. You get what I'm saying? Like, wow. I mean, just they fit right into this perfect thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like I just happened. Well, I think no matter the case, I mean, I don't think that he was after Abby and Libby, particularly for any sort of other reason than to want to sexually assault and kill them. I don't think it was like some people say. Some guy said that he was mad at his own kids or something. I mean, it's possible that's like an unconscious reason, but I don't, or to like get back at someone in their family. That's not usually how people work. I don't think. I think he was. I think the crime itself was sort of the end goal for him.
Yeah, it's like these people
I
that want
just
to
find
make it
it-
think it's like, oh, they're killing these kids for revenge. I mean, you'd have to take the sickest
that's
kind of a
very
monster
bizarre.
to just sort of kill totally innocent people just to get back at somebody else. I know crap like that happens, but I think it's just
People
people
only
looking
do
for
that-
something, you know.
People really only do that when it's their own kids who are already psychopaths and they want to get back at their spouse who's hurt them, and they know the best way to do that
Right.
is to kill their kids because they don't care. That's the only time that happens. So
Yeah,
I
and
don't
you wouldn't
see
you
how
wouldn't do
it's
it on a
not
drug
good.
deal gone wrong, like a drug deal gone wrong. I'm okay. Now I'm going to go kill some kids. I don't know. I know that like the
That-
cartel might do something like
There's
that.
zero
but,
chance.
you know.
There's zero. Yeah, that I'd say that's almost zero chance. Another thing I wanted to ask you about. To me, it seems really. There's all this confusion about the sketches, and at first I was taken aback, but when I look at them now, to me it's very clear that the first sketch is they literally looked at the video and drew a sketch from the picture from the video.
Well, he said in that
Because
interview. Well, he said it. Oh, I know, but here's the thing. In the interview earlier, he said that they talked to numerous people that actually saw this person, and then they probably also used the video. He didn't say that part, but I think he said other methods. So maybe something like that. So maybe they got the witnesses and using the video came up with what they came up with, because early on they actually had the other sketch. They had that 2 days later. The one that they have now, that's from 2 days in. Did you know that?
Right, and that's why. Yeah, I did, and that's why I think that they. I mean, if you took the video and you had that sketch they had 2 days after, and you had other people that saw another guy that they happened to look a lot like the bridge guy with the same cap and facial hair and stuff, I would be like, yeah, let's stick to that one. That's probably the guy. I think it might have been like a strategy to make him feel like, oh, a lot of people saw you, when in reality I don't know if like a witness made that sketch. I think that, there's rumors about where that sketch came from, but, yeah, that's and it kind of fits with the younger guy theory. And I also just wanted to, I looked up that guy really that you were talking about earlier, because I always think it's really funny when you make fun of that app. It's like, did you hear this? Like that EVP or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, EVP reading. Yeah.
That is so ridiculous, and I never really checked stuff like that out. But I looked at that. Is it like Harvey Carey or something? Harvey.
Yeah.
It's something like that, but
Yeah.
it's a guy, and he makes like the negative of the picture.
Yeah.
And
she's the iron.
I
Yeah,
was-
it's crazy. It's
It
bizarre.
pissed me off too, because it not only is it not helpful, but I mean, I don't remember if I heard this from directly from the investigators, but or from you, but they someone very specifically has said, don't send us, don't make public random people, and let alone make entire videos about them, but don't make side-by-side comparisons. Like they want actual, why do I think this because, he threatened to kill so-and-so and he did this and was in Delphi or whatever. They don't just want you looking at random people. And, I mean, I guess whatever guy he was talking about, what was more, and he openly admitted that he had gotten his face scrunched down in technical terms so much that he looked like a pork chop, and he just said that no laughter, and I was like, great, and then but I was more shocked by all the comments that were like case closed. Like they think he's literally solved the case.
Yeah.
And
well, he does this thing where, you know, that little pork chop thing that he keeps lining up to people's faces. He did one video that said Gray. He goes, Gray is not the suspect, and he put the pork chop on my face, and I actually literally debunked him. I mean,
Are you kidding?
which is dumb. Is I debunked him, which means I'm trying to say, hey, I said, listen, Harvey, you squished my face down. You didn't even prove that I'm not, because you squished my face so, you know, like, you know, the aspect ratio. He didn't make it leave it the same. He squished it down, and then he put the pork chop on there, and then he said it didn't fit. And I go, Harvey, come on, you got to have my face. Because here's the thing: is that little pork chop thing that he lines up on faces called digital DNA. It fits everybody.
Oh my God.
Okay, it goes right onto your cheek, and then it's like, you know, it's like a headset made out of chicken. It's crazy.
yeah,
Or a
they
pork
saw
chop.
my picture. If they saw my picture in my 30s, they'd be like, case closed. She did it.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are stupid, but I'm glad that you are not stupid. You're lovely, and it's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. That was fun.
All right.
All right.
Thanks. Have a good night, Gray.
You too. All right, you too.
Bye.
Hey, all right. Well, we're getting some normal calls here. Appreciate it. What time is it? Oh, it's already 10:11. Maybe I'll do 19 more minutes. That sound good? 10:30. Let's see. Anyways. Oh. You know, I feel bad when it's hard for me to accept somebody's, like, something that I just feel like, what? You know, like, I don't know. I mean, I early on, I mean, I think the point about Ron Logan, I'm talking about the earlier call. I don't know if it was that Carol. Who was the person that did that one? The, you know, Ron Logan not being there, it doesn't seem coincidental to me. I mean, it doesn't seem weird. I mean, Ron Logan probably goes out and has beer all the time, and he's not at home. You see what I'm saying? That's right. See, that's what, look at Dennis Stewart just said. Serial killers are supreme opportunists to the 9th degree. They have the ability to trap-type situations that greatly increase their chances of success. They are not geniuses. Hey, thanks, Mag. I appreciate it. Not sure why there's no audio or anything. I've turned them all on. Or maybe not. Oh, yeah, hold on. So that one. Okay, maybe that'll work now. Cool. Well, thank you very much. Maybe that one will come through because I just turned it on. Let's see if it makes a sound. From the high desert in the great American Southwest. That's right. What do you say there? Fergie. Yeah. What do you need a headphone and mic for, River Fox? Please don't tell me another true crimer is going to make their foray into the world. But tell you what, I think what would be great is if there was a whole bunch of true crime YouTubers, but they all focused in on reality and facts and didn't allow a lot of the absolute crap. That would be awesome. But that's not going to happen. You're just going to get the Chris Watts every day, every day, every day, every day. Now I'm doing this thing for a week because I just want to do. I think it's been helpful. It seems like there's been a lot of people calling in. Other people are talking about it more, and we're, working through stuff. Really kind of pounding in on the facts. And I mean, do you guys? Let me just ask you something. I mean, you guys can be honest too. I don't want some kind of oh yeah, great, yeah, great. Do you think that they're really? I mean, like the whole thing that was brought up about that they didn't go check over at Anna's house. Does anybody really think that's a big deal? That means something? I mean, put a 1 in there if you really think it's a big deal. Like that's something we need to look into. Because that's the kind of stuff that's like, for me, it's just not even interesting. So you really think that's a big deal? Okay. See, that's scary. It's scary that there's people that think that's even anything. Wow. Man, that's unbelievable. Seven 6-5. Yeah. 765. Yep.
What? Yeah. What's up, buddy?
Who's this? I can't even.
This is.
We've got cutting out. I think. Oh, Wally. Hey, what's going on?
Not much. I just had a real quick question for you.
All right.
On the car location day, have they publicly corrected that yet, or
the what? The car. What was that again? The what day?
Location date. They had it a day late. They were saying the 14th or something.
Yeah, he fixed that right away. Like they actually came out and said, because I actually said that during my show live. I was listening and I go, that's wrong. And then after they said, yeah, it was the 13th, not the 14th.
Right. So they have publicly corrected that then. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Just for the factual people, I wanted to let them know.
I mean, it's weird too, because like I don't know if Carter's the communication guy, but he makes a lot of verbal errors or says things in an awkward way that leads to confusion by people.
Yeah.
It's he seems like a cool dude and everything. It's just I don't know what it's not good. Some of that stuff. It really gets people confused. Like when he said, "Oh yeah, there was a car that was abandoned there," but it was really just meaning that it was just left there for a while as he went to do.
We really appreciate,
and then it was gone later.
Family. Gray, we appreciate you.
Oh, by the way, hey, thanks,
still
Nike.
a little confused.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Did he say it was sitting on the road, or did he say it's sitting at the building?
Well, they said it was parked next to the building. He said parked next to the building. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that really matters that much. It was just parked next to that right there, It was just... He said it was parked next to the abandoned... See, I think that's how he did. He sort of conflated the two thoughts. Like it's an abandoned building, and then he said the car was abandoned there, but it was like... He just meant the car was parked there and left there for a while, and then it was gone later. So it was right next to the CPS building that Phoebe Beach filled me in because I couldn't remember. But I think wasn't it just that it was parked next to it, right? It didn't say where exactly, right?
Do we know if that building was out of business yet or not?
Do we know if the building
You know what I mean?
Was what? What did you say?
Out of business.
Yeah, I don't even
out
think...
of business. I mean, before they tore it down,
Yeah, I think it was abandoned at the time. Now there's not even a building.
Was it?
Yeah.
Right.
And
so it would have been out of place.
Yeah, well, here's the thing is, I think it was abandoned at the time because at the time of the press conference, the building wasn't even there anymore. So when he referred to it as the abandoned CPS building, it must have been abandoned then as well.
Okay, he did say abandoned. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I just wondering if, that way it would make it out of place, and if it's abandoned, there shouldn't be nothing there.
Yeah, but it's a place where you can park cars, to go walk the trails.
Yes.
Yeah, and it actually leads right to a trail. Like if you look at that place, I mean, it's almost kind of weird in a way. It's like right where the parking lot is, there's a path that goes right to the Freedom Bridge. Okay, I mean, it literally I mean, it's almost like they put the path there on purpose to go to the Freedom Bridge. So it's perfect for that. Like you park your car, you walk to the Freedom Bridge, get on the trail, and you're in business.
Abby and Libby in the spotlight.
Thanks, Patricia.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of weird if they would do that, but there's not much parking, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting though that there's this little side path that they built to go right to the Freedom Bridge there, though. It's what? An abandoned.
So it might not have drawn that much attention to those city people of Delphi. They know that's that way, and they might not have paid a lot of attention. But hey, there's a car sitting there.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I'm looking at it right now. So, like in 2014, there was no path there at all, but the building looks like it was still close to being abandoned. Like there was really nothing going on there. And then in April 2017, that's the next shot. Now there's this nice little path that goes straight to the Freedom Bridge. So that would be a place. I think they might have even just left it there for people to park to go hiking. You just park there.
Yeah.
You get on that, and so I don't think that's weird at all now. Now it seems like, wow, that's exactly what that's for. You just park your car there, you walk down the trail, and you get on the trails.
Yeah.
More of them.
And if you look at modern Google Earth today, where the old parking lot across the highway, across Freedom Bridge, the old parking lot, it's not there no more. Now that's a trucking company had built on that land right there. I don't know if that was city land or state land or who gave them the land to build on there. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, they just totally changed.
It's like now where do people park?
Yeah.
It's kind of like where do people park?
Yeah, well, it's almost like that's where you park, right at the CPS building. I mean, it's because they made a little path that walks right over to the the circular Freedom Bridge side. I don't know what side you call the east side of it, the road there. So it's crazy. Hey, thanks, Cheryl Ann.
Yeah, it is.
And thank you.
Well, that's all I had.
Hey, I appreciate
Just wanted to make sure on that. Okay, great.
Well, good stuff. All right,
talk
thanks
to you later.
All right, man. See you. Bye.
Okay, later. Bye.
All right. 2:53. Well, hold on one second. You're almost on. There's a message being played on the...
Thank you for all you do.
Well, thank you. All right, are you on there, 2:53?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Greg? Can you hear me?
Yep, pretty good. Who's this?
Cool. Awesome. Hey, this is Raymond. I'm pretty new to the channel, so I apologize in advance if I'm asking something you've already covered.
Oh, that's all right.
I wanted your take on one thing here. Do you know if there's ever been any speculation regarding the two girls maybe talking to somebody online, days preceding the murder?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
Discussed ever?
I've heard that being discussed a million times, but nobody's ever had any information that said that. I mean, they're always online talking to friends and everything like that. I think they probably did they had Snapchat, Facebook, all those kind of things. But I don't know if there's any evidence that they were talking to some unknown person that nobody knows about.
Gotcha.
Right.
And then just a couple more questions, and they're all kind of not connected at all. I just want your opinion on them. If you were to guess, what do you think this guy works? Whoever this is, do you think they're someone that is on the books, or just maybe a transient? What are you leaning towards that?
What's weird is, I don't know if Ada's around, but my very first thought when this case first started, I thought maybe it was maybe some sort of, seasonal worker or something. Somebody just passing through, and they're never going to be able to find that person, right? I just wasn't sure. It was like, it just seemed like, wow, you see this picture and you're just not sure. But I don't know. I mean, I think they probably, that's the thing, is I don't have a clue. I don't know if they work or anything.
Right.
He kind of looks like he's got
seems
jacket and stuff. I don't know, but
yeah, it seems like a lot of people say he's if he's connected to other murders, he's just kind of traveling, maybe a transient off the grid, so to speak. But
yeah,
for me, someone like that, they have to have some sort of income, whether they're on disability or they're a veteran of I don't know. It just seems like someone that's traveling on the go, committing crimes like this, they got to still have some way to support themselves.
Right.
So I don't know. That's something that I've been curious about. My final thought was, and this is the one that you might laugh at, because I don't know. Are you familiar with this Bobby Camworth individual on YouTube? Are you familiar with his videos?
That sounds familiar. I think I have seen him, but I just don't remember why I remember. The name sounds familiar. Tell me about one of the. Are those really weird sort of videos that are kind of in the middle of nowhere, and there's just like feet and stuff moving around? Go ahead. Tell me what.
Yeah. I'll give you the brief, watered down. And I discovered it. He's only been on for about, I'd say, a month, but he's made some pretty interesting videos that are very suggesting and saying that he's responsible. A lot of people have reported him. He still puts out videos. If you look at his latest video, he actually posted what looks to be an outfit of clothing laid out on some a lawn. It looks like on some grass,
Mm-hmm.
And it's the blue jacket. It's the blue jacket. It's the pants. And
oh, really? Yeah.
The very first video is. I mean, it's definitely creepy. I'll say that. But if your viewers aren't familiar with it, I think everyone should look at it. And regardless if the guy's a troll or not, he needs to be looked into.
He had some names that were.
He
had some names that were sort of associated with. I remember the first couple of videos, they sort of alluded to the Delphi incident, the case, right? Like there was some sort of.
You're right. Well, most of them do. One of them's called Down the Hole.
Yeah, there you go.
Where he's obviously and the first one's called Liberty's Seed, I believe.
There you go. Yeah.
The last video he did was kind of mock. I personally believe he's mocking the Flora murders, because he's burning what looks to be like a black Barbie doll. With a on a little grill or something.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's really disturbing, and a lot of us have reported him. It's like, hey, this guy needs to be checked.
Well,
out,
who are you reporting him to? Who are you reporting him to?
Well, I personally, we did the tip line, and then we also, which was directed to the FBI, and then we did the email as well. A lot of people have reported it.
Well, the FBI needs to look at that one, just because that doesn't even matter if it's related. That's crazy. That's
absolutely. Will you? If you haven't seen them all, will you check them out and maybe do a little piece on it, a little video on it?
I haven't seen. Yeah, I saw the first two, so there must be more now. Jeez.
Yeah. Look out the new ones, and he actually. I don't know who it was. It might have been Harvey Carroll. So take this for what it is. But I think he mentioned that this individual posted on his channel that he was Bridge Guy, and then he quickly removed his comment. So. He won't give you. He's all over the comment section too. I've tried to get him to talk, and he likes to try to taunt people.
Yeah.
But he won't directly admit anything. He'll just kind of make hints that he's responsible, but he won't say he's responsible. So I don't know. He definitely needs to be checked out by law enforcement. So in my opinion, but
no, that sounds.
Anyway, that's all I had. I appreciate all you do, man. And did you have anything else you want to throw at me?
Well, no, I was just gonna say about the income thing that you were talking about before, as I always thought that, there was, not always, but there was a time where I thought he could have been, excuse me, like upper, like even middle to upper income guy. Because I was thinking that hat, originally I was thinking, because I actually almost early on thought he was wearing that same hat that they put in the first sketch that they released, right? And then, but poor people, people, you don't see a lot of really poor people wearing that hat. So I remember thinking at the time, even though they said, I thought it was weird when they said, hey, don't focus in on the hat. But it's like, well, then why the hell did you put that hat on there? A hat that actually were ones that people thought maybe he had on. and that the hoodie was just sort of
Right,
like it
right.
could be underneath. I mean, I don't know. I always thought maybe it was underneath a hat like that under the hoodie, because it doesn't seem like a baseball hat because it doesn't stick out far enough with the shadow. I just see it sticks out a little bit, but it's solid, and then the shadow. So I was thinking maybe it was one like that. And then he's got the blue jacket on, jeans, dark shoes. He doesn't seem like somebody that's just like a transient hobo type,
Yeah,
So,
to me, it looks like someone that is definitely an outdoorsman. Definitely someone that
yeah.
maybe someone who hunts. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us can agree on that. But I thought of two final things. I apologize if I can throw them at you real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you recall? I believe it was about a year after the fact, and I want to say, yeah, about a year. And they made an announcement in the media that they were specifically focusing, I believe, on like southeastern Tennessee, the investigation. Do you recall that?
No, I do remember that. Yeah. Huh. I never knew what happened to that.
Yeah, it kind of. Yeah, we never really heard anything after that, but I thought that was kind of interesting. And then I was reading recently about. There's a blog somewhere where there's a lady that claims on the morning of the murder, there was a gentleman that it was a silver sedan. Forgive me for what I don't remember what the make and model was, but it was a silver sedan with a kind of suspicious gentleman. She says that got out of the car and came up to her porch, and I don't know what his business was there, but she took photos of this guy. And come to find out, the plates, it's a rental car. They tracked it down. It's a rental car, and the plates were, I guess, stolen plates put on a rental car. Have you ever heard about this? Does this ring any bells? 'Cause she's making a big stink on this blog that, like, law enforcement hasn't taken her tip, or they're not taking it seriously. And I don't know. I don't
you
know
haven't
what
heard
to
about
make of
that
it.
one. I haven't heard about that one. It was reminding me of that other case that we covered earlier in the year, where a guy had stolen plates, kidnapped a girl, took her up to his, and he's on surveillance, dragging her up into the apartment, dead, and then next day he's caught, or a few days later he's caught driving down the freeway with her body inside of a suitcase, and then her body was inside the suitcase, inside of like a cushion cover. And he had bought all this bleach and shit and brought it into his apartment. I mean, he was like this guy that, and everyone, I was in this argument with somebody, and the guy's, he's just made a mistake. He made a mistake. He probably accidentally killed her. But it's like, well, why did you have a license plate that you'd stolen 2 years prior on your car? That means this guy had this license plate and was going to be using it often for his different things. But anyways, it just reminded me of that one.
Yeah,
total
definitely.
aside.
And I know it's just rumor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, it's just rumors I'm throwing at you. But I remember hearing about those two things, and I'm like, I wonder if anything ever came of that. I mean, you can't really get a rental car without. I mean, you have to have an ID, obviously, and I don't know how a criminal would get around getting a rental car to drive to Delphi, to commit this horrible act without being traced. I mean, I guess you could use a fake ID of some kind to do that, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And then, last but not least, I won't say too much because it is kind of graphic, but the rumor regarding the letter K, is that, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've heard like
Is
F or K or something. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you've heard. Okay, what do you make of that? You think that's all just baloney?
Well, I mean, it's hard to know. It's like it's out there. It's a rumor. I mean, maybe there's a reason. Maybe the FBI was called in for something like that, because that's weird shit, right? I mean, it's like, but there's absolutely zero validation at all of anything like that. So, other than it's a rumor.
Right on, man.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hey,
Right.
thanks for taking my call, man.
Yeah,
and, thanks for all you
appreciate
do. And check out Bobby Camworth. I'd love to hear your analysis on that guy.
I will.
if
I'll
you
check
can.
it out. I'll do it. All right. Thanks a lot,
Awesome.
man. Appreciate
All right.
it.
Thanks, Gray.
Yeah.
Bye.
Talk to you later. Yeah. Don't worry about the F or K. All right. Don't worry about it. All right. So here we go. 630. You're on the air.
Hi, Gray. My name's Lisa. I think on the Tennessee thing, that was when law enforcement
published it on their website in order to spread the word and help out, and people thought that he was
Oh, okay.
in Tennessee, but it wasn't what they were saying.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it did have. Yeah, that's right. Didn't it sort of evolve into that they were just trying to spread the word over there? But another really poorly communicated deal. It's just like they got to really work on that stuff. You can't have. Yeah, everyone has to be on the same page in law enforcement. I mean, it's great for us because sometimes we get little nuggets that we shouldn't have heard, but at the same time, you know, like that press conference to me was crazy because the first guy said, "This image right here, this is who we are now looking for." Then a little bit later, well, I think it's you know, it's second. You know, the other sketch is still secondary. And then later on an interview, well, it's somewhere in between the first sketch and the second sketch. You know, and then it's like, well, what the hell are we looking for now then? My God, why don't you make a sketch that looks like it's in between? Then we can have all three of them. You know, it drives me nuts.
The thing that bugs me is when you get the people that say, "Oh, he obviously has a prosthetic leg because he can't walk across because of how he walks across the bridge," which isn't even logical because how are you going to subdue two girls easily? It's
Well,
like
I think what he did was I think he filled the leg with whiskey. And so it had enough weight where he could swing it in front of him, you know.
I don't know.
It was actually Jack Daniels,
more,
too. Yeah, go ahead.
about the younger sketch.
Yeah.
So I'm a clothing expert, so I kind of was seeing what we could maybe learn from his gait, which isn't much since, you know, it's just one step or whatever, but his clothing appeared to me that he probably has short legs relative to his torso.
He does seem like
very
that.
Short.
That does seem like that's what it is. And that's kind of what those callers last night said about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, we should.
But even more so, I mean, if you look up in Indiana, everybody either looks like the first sketch or the second sketch, or they have
right.
too
No,
long
everybody.
of pants. It doesn't really
Every
narrow it,
single
but-
person. I saw this video, God, early on. Do you remember what that was? It was some kind of, what was that, Beth? It was like an event where there was people at, had something to do, it seemed like it had something to do with Abby and Libby, but there was everybody in the entire, every man walking around had a blue jacket on, blue jeans, dark shoes, and it was like, my God. I mean, how in the hell are you guys going to find this person? It was unbelievable.
Well, I think they should.
Thanks,
forget
Claudia
about the
Neubauer.
jacket because
Hold on, I got to
I
say
would
that.
think he got rid of that a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I think there might be something to the pants that it seems even more so that his pants are extra long, which maybe because he had boots
I got
on,
to
which would
go.
cause
Thanks
them
for
to
everything you've
break
done on
further.
this case and
But I
continue
also
to
heard
grace
people say
smiling
he
face
has
with heart eyes.
small feet,
Starstruck,
which I
starstruck,
don't know if I could
smiling
tell
face
that or
with
not.
heart eyes.
Sorry, I got.
If they could tell.
There was somebody. Thanks, Claudia Neubauer. She donated on Super Chat, and then it kind of drowned out your voice. So could you repeat that part again?
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Well, I think that there could be something to the fact that his pants do seem even more extra long than a lot of people that wear ill-fitting clothes. But also, I've heard people say he has small feet, which I don't know if you could tell that or not specifically.
Yeah.
But if they could tell his height more relative to the bridge, because you should, you know,
Yeah, I did
they
that.
know how.
I got him. Yeah, I think he was about
Yeah.
between like 5'6" and 5'8", something like that. Maybe 5'9", but maybe I think 5'8". He's not really that tall, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wonder if they could tell anything about, very specifically about his height and if he really does have smaller feet, because if he had like super small feet, like size 7 or something, that's a little more distinctive than the average population.
Yeah, but if he's only like 5'7" or 6", maybe size 7 wouldn't be that weird.
True.
What was the thing you were saying about the
But also-
pants? I missed that part.
Oh,
I was saying I think he probably long got rid of that coat, but the jeans you wouldn't really have any reason to get rid of because
Everybody
know,
has
everybody
them.
has
Yeah.
jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they'd probably at least be like very worn on the bottom if he wears them that long.
Well, also, like if there was blood on him at all, though, he might have got rid of them at some point.
True. But also, I think they should focus on what kind of person has the nerve to walk across the bridge in the first place, because if it were me, I wouldn't be walking across that bridge only if my life depended on it.
Right.
I mean, it's only a certain personality that would even go across that, right?
Yeah. Well,
Would you be one to want to walk across the bridge?
According to Beth, hell no. Man, I couldn't do it, man. She wants to pay money to fly me over there and have me go across the bridge. Yeah.
Anyway, I just have a couple more quick things. So, also people seem too focused on the fact that they thought he was 45, 50-year-old man initially, but if you have poor posture or rounded shoulders or a hunch, as a young man, you could look older than your actual.
Yeah, I don't see any of that stuff.
Facially, he could look younger.
I think this is the most over-analyzed thing I've ever seen. I mean, how do you get this picture? I mean, I'm going to put it on the screen again. Look at everybody. Here it is. Here's this guy. How do you get a prosthetic leg out of this shot right here? Prosthetic leg, a puppy coming out of the shirt here, an oxygen tank, a GoPro camera, fanny pack filled with, an oxygen tank on the behind. Do you guys remember early on they were saying that stuff was edited out? Like he was literally pulling an oxygen tank, but they took that off the image. I mean, I have never, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's absolutely insane, the brains of people that will sometimes look into cases, right? I'm not saying mine is always perfect or anything like that, but wow. Anyways, go ahead.
I have two more things. First of all, I should have written down where I read it, but I could probably find the source, but that 90% of killers have an alcohol problem, so I wonder why people haven't really focused on that more, if that's factual. As far as bars, liquor stores, or keeping your eyes open and that kind of.
That's not going to narrow it down to many people, though. I mean, a lot of people have alcohol problems, especially 40-something-year-old guys living in sort of rural America, right? They're probably like, God, what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
Hell, you go get a couple cold ones.
Yeah. And I also, the last thing is, I had read, which I've not been able to duplicate this, but it wasn't on Google Maps, but it was on some type of review of the bridge. Somebody had written a comment shortly after this that said something like 4 stars, other than the fact that 2 girls got killed there, and it seemed like a very horrible thing to review, and I wasn't able to find who did it or if anybody's aware of that or read that at the time, because I thought that was odd, to say the least.
I don't think I've seen that.
Well, just put that out there in case anyone else had seen it, because that seemed troubling to me. But anyway, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just checking. I'm just seeing what people are saying in regards to that, but nothing. All right, well, thank you for calling in, though. Man, this has been a long day so far.
All right, have a good day.
All right, thanks. See you. Bye-bye.
Keep up the good work.
All right, thanks,
bye.
832, you're on the air.
Hey, Gray, how are you?
Pretty good. Who's this?
This is Susie. I'm calling from Houston, Texas. And I wanted to tell you, I really think it's great what you're doing to bring more publicity to this case. This case is something that we all just think is so horrible because, Libby gave us the audio and the video, and so far nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty shocking that after all this time, with the video and audio, and yeah, like you actually see the guy walking right there. Everybody, look, there he is. And we don't know. Yeah, he does seem like his legs are shorter if you look at that, because it's usually your legs are a little bit longer than they're usually longer, quite a bit longer normally than from your waist to the top of your head, right? But in his case, it's kind of close to the same.
Right. You know, I can really relate to this. I grew up in a big city, but you know, it's something that every kid wants to do. You know, walk on a trail, and they're just so innocent. And also, I wanted to tell you that your videos and your graphics are second to none. I pay really close attention to this case, and I've seen so many crazy ideas and just nutty videos. And yours are first rate. They are just awesome.
Oh, wow. And no, I did not send her any money, anybody, to say that. But thank you. No, I really appreciate it. Thank you. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, you do a great job. The stories, the cases where we can see the videos are just really, like the Missy Beavers thing as well.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you something. So in one regard, they think he's maybe local. But if he was local, I would think after this much time, he would have been identified by now. So, and then if he's out of town, how in the hell did he even know to find the Monon Bridge? You know, and that's kind of hard to figure.
See, that is one thing that is in the, what made him, how did he know about the bridge? So it does make it seem like he's from the area or surrounding areas. There's a whole bunch of little tiny towns outside of that area. And a lot of people, if they grew up in the area, they've probably been out there, maybe even went there when he was younger type of thing, knew where it was. And then you also have to throw in, did this person know that school was out that day?
Exactly.
Or,
yes,
or was he just kind of, because here's the thing is, that might have been, like, he didn't know that, but it turned out where he was going to go there and just hope for a straggler, somebody jogging or something that he could have, maybe they went to the edge of the bridge and he would have been the only one out there. But it turns out there was other people out there. So then he had to really kind of improvise a little bit, and he waited for that, again, the moment of opportunity type of, because I don't know, it almost seems like it would be dumb to go there when school's out. Because then all of a sudden, there's like, if you knew that that's where all the kids hung out, why would you go there knowing that they're all going to be there and see you, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so you can look at it a couple different ways.
I know it. I've heard, some people say that there's a big like meat packing or slaughterhouse nearby, and they have a lot of people that they hire felons and stuff, and they have a big turnover. But I'm sure that the FBI has gone through all the employee records of,
I mean, there's a YouTuber that's pushing. Well, hold on. Remember what you're going to say. But there's a YouTuber that's pushing the whole meat packing thing. And the thing is maybe it's possible. I mean, the meat packing company employs probably the most people in that area, I would imagine. So there's a good chance that if this guy lived in the area and is a certain age, he might work there. So it's not like people were talking about that early on, too, as a possibility. Okay, but who knows where he works? That's the truth.
I know it.
And if he works at the meatpacking company and it happens to be that, it won't be because some amazing sleuthing. It's that you picked the largest employer in the area, and that's your best chance, okay? There you go.
Exactly, and if you slaughter pigs every day, I guess you'd be pretty good with a knife, I don't know. That's the whole thing's just so disturbing. One thing, why do you think Carter is so sure, or he appears to be so sure that this guy is following the case so closely? And again, that makes you think he is like a local, but then why didn't anybody know who the guy is?
Well, somebody came up, said something one time. I actually forgot that they said this. I just remembering now, but they said that they think that this person has actually contacted law enforcement and is sort of taunting a little bit with some letters. I mean, there's no proof of that, but wouldn't that kind of make sense a little bit to what he's
Yes.
what's going on, like what Carter's saying. Like they're kind of pissed off now. Like, oh crap, this guy sent us a
Yes.
letter, and it's hard. They can't track it. It's just one of those things where you cut out the letters or whatever, or write really
Yeah,
crappy.
like
you know.
April Tinsley thing.
Yeah, like it told. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Like, April Tinsley, and he was doing that too. And it turns out when I was at CrimeCon, I was talking to CeCe Moore, and which I was like, God, I'm actually talking to CeCe Moore. Like I literally talked to her for 15 minutes. It was crazy. And the thing is she said that John Miller, the killer, was smart, a really smart guy. Like he literally, but he wrote like that on purpose, that really crappy writing.
Oh.
And just to throw people off, but he
yes.
was like really bright. He doesn't look smart at all. He looks like a, but what does smart look like?
Yeah,
I mean,
Trey
like if
looks
like
nice.
I
Right.
like here's the thing: is Einstein could either be a hobo or Einstein. You see what I'm saying?
Right, yes,
Yeah, it was funny too
exactly, right.
because
Yes.
yeah, like notice how I said or Einstein, because that's what you call really smart people. Oh wow, he's Einstein. So he's either a
Yes, exactly.
he's either a hobo or he's Einstein. That's what he looks like. So we don't. John Miller
Yeah,
looks
right.
like a absolute monster. But it turns out like he played crossword puzzles and Roku and all kinds of shit. Way smarter
Yep.
than That's kind of bizarre. I wouldn't expect that at all, but I was shocked.
I know, exactly. He looks like he came out from underneath some garbage can somewhere.
Yeah, he looks like a troll,
He's
like an
pretty bad.
actual troll, like a
He does.
something like if you were
He
going to make a
does.
movie with a troll, you would take his whole face and then put it onto an animated character that was bigger, That's it though.
Exactly.
And for those
Exactly.
wait, hold on. I'm going to type go ahead. Say what you're going to say. I'm going to type I'm going to go find him really quick though. I want to show people this picture.
I love what you said when Carter did that last press conference and he said, now this is to the murderer who may be in this room. I love what you said because he did glare off into, he like stared into a certain direction. You said, how would you like to be the guy sitting right there where he stares and he rewound it? That was great. But they do seem to think that they know not know who it is, but that he is possibly taunting them in some way.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I mean, that'd be interesting if that was reality.
It would be.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying, everybody? You guys looking at John D. Miller there? The barbarian killer of April Tinsley right there? Look at this guy. Wow.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah. Turns out he was smart and really wasn't dumb. So, God, it's kind of... I kind of wish he... Well, it actually makes it more intriguing. Look at this one, though. Just weeks later, right? I mean, now he looks like... Wow. Good luck
Good
there.
Lord.
Good luck in prison there, good old John. What's he doing in this one? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Jesus.
right.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, that's all I got.
Well, listen, Gray, thank you so much for taking my call, and
Yeah.
you are definitely my go-to guy for all the Delphi stuff. For real, it really.
Oh,
you
cool.
pick great cases, and keep up the good work. The FBI should have you doing their graphics.
Well, I think I could have helped on this video. I guarantee it. I mean, I wouldn't do
for
some
sure.
weird bullshit with the, coming up with crazy pixelation. I mean, I get some wild emails, everybody, that just it's unbelievable stuff, But so that's not in a good way, is what I'm trying to say. I literally would just take it so that people could view it in a way that they can digest it better. Like I think this video that I have right here is better than the one that they released because it shows that he kind of walks and he sort of there's a little sway to it a little bit,
Yeah,
But-
exactly. They had the whole bridge moving, and you stabilized it. And you can figure out their height, like in the Missy Beavers thing. You had that guy or girl, lined up next to the door jamb, to see how tall. I mean, you I don't know what you did before you were a crime guy, but you got some real talent.
that was just regular, I'm the same person, but the thing is over time I've just sort of like I just look at something and I go, gosh, how can I determine this in a way that's pretty, it's accurate. And so in that case I didn't use feet, I used inches, so I used 10-inch increments, knowing that,
Yeah.
60 inches is 5 feet, and then I don't know, it just seemed easier that way, and I just found a spot where I could tell that I was right in the center of the body with that door opening.
Yeah.
And then it was a really
that was
boom.
perfect.
Yeah, it was great how that line worked like that. So
Yeah, that was wonderful.
so cool. Well, I'm glad
All right,
you
well,
like my work.
you. Thank you very much. Yes, I
Thank
do.
you.
And I wanted to get a con, but I'm an ER nurse, and some other people were on vacation that week, and I was too late putting in my request. But I'm
What
going
about
to
next
Orlando
year?
for
Oh,
sure.
you are? Okay, cool. All right.
Absolutely, definitely.
All right.
And I'll have a freak T-shirt on too.
Yeah. Well, hell, you know what I should do I should bring a bunch of freak T-shirts. Although it's hard to, I don't know how you pack all that crap. Huh.
Yeah,
I guess
you
I'd have
should
to
bring
figure
some
it out.
yourself, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking
Right.
for all of you guys, but we'll think of
Yeah.
something. All right. Well, thanks for calling. Appreciate
All right,
it.
thank you.
All right.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Bye.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it for me, everybody. Woo! I'm pooped. I forgot to eat dinner tonight. Maybe that's why I was grumpy earlier. I've been drinking Gatorade with sugar for the last hour or two. It's helped out a little bit. But man, that was a long day, huh? And sorry, Amy, I wasn't necessarily talking to you earlier on that one thing. I was just reading the comments, but then I realized you made the same comment, so I was like, oh crap. All right. So where do you guys want to do a flyby, by the way? There goes my stomach. I think I need to do a flyby now just to get a little... No, Aliquippa, forget that. That's not even a cool-looking town. I want to go somewhere out in the country. Don't you guys need a little bit of peace right now? Just pick one of those really cool, like rock something somewhere. Yeah, we've been doing Italy a lot lately. Yes, Lord. What does that mean? Yeah, I've done Ireland a bunch of times. Yeah, Yosemite. I don't know if I've done... Have I done Yosemite? That sounds kind of cool. That sounds fun. Oh, yeah, look at that. Ooh. That's what I'm talking about right there. Mm-hmm. All right. Will do, Cairo. Yeah, I never saw the your Streamlabs thing though. I don't know what happened to that. It's kind of weird. Do 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 do. Doesn't that remind you of the Love Boat a little
Use
bit?
the $2 YouTube
Exciting
doesn't take from
and
this to buy
new.
Blue
Come
Bow.
aboard.
He's not as mean as you. JK.
Wait, YouTube doesn't take from this to buy Blue a bone. He's not as mean. I thought that was a rap. I was trying to work on that. Yeah, exciting and new. I gotta play that music again. Yee! All right. So here we go. That's cool. Look at that. Watch this. Watch. The alien on the rock.
Go on your Patreon, not Streamlabs.
Look at the alien on the rock. Oh, thanks. Cool. I think I saw that. Thank you very much for joining Patreon. Wow, that's some cool shit right there, huh? Wow, that was pretty cool, Yosemite. I'm going to have to go back there again one of these times. All right. I wanted to get my phone number off the screen, so it was really just Yosemite instead of my phone number. It's Yosemite, not Yosemite, as I just said. Yeah, you can tell when somebody's getting tired when they say Yosemite. Anytime you hear somebody say Yosemite. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, so hey, wow, thank you to Claudia Neubauer, Cheryl M, Patricia M, Lanky Tor, Frigi, or maybe it's Frigili, yeah. Mag, Richard Kennick, Nancy K, Kim F, ESVK, Simbad Sailor. I don't think he's in the group anymore, but thank you. Cairo Al-Qadir, Simply Done, Pam Hurst, really appreciate that. Cairo Al-Qadir again, Nona 617, and Cairo Al-Qadir again, helping out with the dog food. And then Raquel Bedgood Corley, Lanky Tor again, Jada, Frankaholic, Nona, Trace Elements 13, Lanky Tor, Claudia Neubauer, and then we got to go over to a second. And then on, it looks like, I think it was PayPal. Yeah, Gail Howell. And then on, I have some new Patreon members, look like. Yes, and Steve Johnson and Cairo Thorne. What's this name? Yeah. So there you go. Crazy, huh? Thank you very much, everybody. Wow, that was very kind of you guys. I'm just kind of looking at my other screen over here. So yeah, wow. I really appreciate the Patreon. Patreon's like a consistent help every month on the channel instead of relying on YouTube's ad revenue. It's not going to work. But I really appreciate it, and thank you all for showing up. It was kind of like a marathon show tonight. I hope you were able to get something to eat during the show. I'm going to go to bed hungry tonight. Do you guys care? I don't think so. No, but I mean, I had something to eat earlier in the evening. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you all for showing up. And we'll be back tomorrow night at 6 o'clock for another live call-in show on the Delphi. It'll be day number 5. We're going to do 7 total. But I might do 2 different. I might come back on later because I got to get back to some of the other crimes that we cover every day too. We did one this morning. So it's been a long marathon day. All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up tonight. And until next time, be safe out there.